$1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Big game and even bigger bets. Tackling all the props, spreads, and value plays in between. You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, right here on The Gambler.
So that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
And away we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Daily Ticket with you here on a Thursday. 3 days away. Super Bowl 59. Counting them down. Sean Brace, Sam Oshtry with you here. And folks, speaking of counting it down, the NBA trade deadline. The NBA stealing all the headlines this week from essentially everybody in the sports world that does not represent Philadelphia. Of course, front and center for us is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. The rematch. Finish the story. Sam hosted solo. Great listen on Monday with Sean Bernard. Good afternoon, Sam. How we doing?
I'm good. I was great walking into the studio.
Oh.
And then I walk into the studio and you feed me some hot chicken, some hot cauliflower.
Yep.
And now I'm reeling a little bit. So I'm playing hurt stomach if I have to go to the bathroom at any point and you just stop hearing from me.
You're
gonna know why.
wait. You mean to tell me that little piece of cauliflower got
Yeah,
you?
you can call me soft. I don't something clicked in the stomach on that hot chicken.
You know what makes a good stomach issue? When you wash it down with a can of Red Bull. So that's what
you got any Red Bull in the studio?
No, I don't. The new flavor too as well. I don't know if you're up on Red Bull. If you're a Red Bull, are you an energy?
I'm a vodka Red Bull guy. I won't drink Red Bull solo though. Strictly,
but you will drink vodka
yes,
Red Bull, but
strictly.
not Red Bull.
It was my go-to drink all of college, and I kind of matured a little bit, and I got off of it, but I still get it every now and then.
I'm not lying to you. I think I was like one of the very first people to ever have a vodka Red Bull.
Seriously,
yes.
You're telling me you invented VRBs?
Did not invent it. No.
But you put it on the map.
Did not put it on the map either. But when I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, when I was 21 in 2000, and look it up because I don't even know when they started serving them. But I kid you not, my boys harassed me. It was like 2002, 2002, 2003-ish. Because my boys were like, how much did you spend on that drink? And I'm like, dude, it's Red Bull. It's really good. It got energy, all that. It's, gets you fired up and throw a little Red Bull in it. And like, they could not believe I spent that much money on it.
Yeah. They're
Club
expensive.
Aura.
That's where you were in
Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah.
Is that a cool city?
Raleigh was a great time. And I bet you it's even better now. Raleigh was awesome.
What were you there for?
My parents, once I graduated high school, they were like, we're going to North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, all right, do your thing.
Nice.
I didn't join them immediately. It took a little while for me to say, all right, I can give up the Scranton life. And then so I shot down to Raleigh and had a blast, met some really good people down there. And then I was a college basketball connoisseur in Scranton, from Syracuse, loved UNC, Michigan, Fab Five, of course, Rick Pitino, Kentucky teams, whatever. Like I was a big college basketball head, but then that raised it to a whole different level. And then I started cheering on the NC State Wolfpack. That was my team down there because I lived in Raleigh, A, and B, like you couldn't claim the Tar Heels if you didn't live or go to school in UNC.
Yeah.
A lot of people did. And Duke, no one cheered for Duke. Durham was a dump back in those days. I think Durham's taking on a new light these days. But yeah, man, great time. Anyways, vodka Red Bull, way back in the day. Look it up. I want to know when they started serving vodka Red Bull. We're going to have to dig that up.
Let me do some research.
Yeah.
I will say I started drinking them to get like, it was all right. I was a little tired going out. It's like, all right, it'll pick you up. It'll lift you up, even though they are more expensive than they should be. Mm-hmm. But I always kind of thought it was a myth. Like I never really felt like I was getting more like an up from a vodka Red Bull than a regular like vodka soda or any other drink.
I'm a big energy drink guy. Jansen was pounding Monsters last night.
Really?
Anyways, this Red Bull is a new flavor, monk fruit extract. I had one at the Todd Frazier Pong over there in North Jersey. And I was like, oh, what's this, a North Jersey edition? And I don't know, Red Bull Zero cals, all that good stuff. So that's what I drink, sugar-free Red Bull. It's not bad. I prefer the sugar-free Red Bull, but
all right, I have an update for you.
When did they start serving Red Bull and vodkas?
They're pretty sure first sold at Butter, a bar in San Francisco in 1999.
Oh, stop it.
That's what it says. What years were you talking?
I said 02.
All right, that's pretty close.
It might have been, was it 01? No,
around the same time frame.
Could have been 01. It could have been. It wasn't 2000. I know that because I moved down in 2000. I didn't have any friends when I first got down there.
Yeah. I mean, it was a new spot, new place.
And they don't like people from up north.
I'm sure you made friends quick if I know you.
Dude, people in Maryland, did you ever get the Yankee conversation? Like, how does that work?
What does that mean, the Yankee conversation?
The Mason-Dixon line.
Oh, yes, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But Maryland's below the Mason-Dixon line.
Correct.
So it's not, but like, I don't technically consider Maryland south. Like, I feel like North Carolina, you're south.
Oh, you're south. Virginia, you're south. Yeah, Maryland's not south?
Like, technically, because
not
of the Mason-Dixon line.
But did the people in Maryland claim?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They're just not Southerners.
But they're below the Mason-Dixon line.
I know, but I know that's the technical point of if you're a Southerner or not, but I don't think I don't think that's how it works.
All right.
They're just not, they're like these Southerners, the Maryland people are not Southerners at all. Like, I've been to South Carolina a few times.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Different world. Different night and day is the best way to put it. All right. We do have a lot to get to. Of course, the NBA trade deadline. I do have just one quick item that I have to hit because it is the title for today's show here. And you might be wondering, what the hell is he talking about? Sam Oshtry, a 5-year winning wager, hopefully, comes to a close tonight. Tonight, we find out who will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to our guy, Jari Evans, who we love. I was talking to him a little earlier. He's got a watch party. We're going to post that on Instagram. If you're heading down to New Orleans, make sure you're checking that out. He was on Fox 29 this morning. Ja is the man. Can't thank him enough for everything he has done for us. And then took on a gig with the New Orleans Saints. Of course, he's in the New Orleans Saints Ring of Honor, won the Super Bowl down there. So we hope it will happen tonight. If it does not happen tonight, it will happen for Jari Evans. The same thing that's I could say about Eli Manning. If Eli Manning does not get in tonight, he will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, most likely next year. But that is not going to cast a wager for me. Philly Mike Diaz from Green Legion. You know him. You probably hate him. I love him. Good dude, really good dude. Was with me for many, many years ago when we were doing stuff in my studio in my basement for Philly Envitzer. And we were doing a live show. We did Philly Envitzer live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Shout out to all the gang, Tony Cotillo, Fed Q. The list goes on and on. Jansen. I mean, so many people held me up a cone with Philly Envitzer. Like I said, too many people to name. But Diaz and I disagreed about Eli Manning being a Hall of Famer. And the big thing for me, and we're not going to look, I would love to get your thoughts, but this thing has been beaten to death. And now it's up to the people that send on their votes. There's 50 people. I figured that Eli Manning winning 2 Super Bowls would get him in the Hall of Fame. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But I thought he would get in the first opening night or first round, or first ballot, because of the politics that's involved, because of his last name, because of his brother and his father, and so on and so forth. So I'm still holding steady. There was a moment earlier this week where I just did not feel good about him getting in due to an article that was sent to me by Diaz. But as we sit here right now tonight, Sam Oshtry, if Eli Manning makes it into the Hall of Fame, first ballot tonight, I get to go to Capitol Grill, and it's an unlimited bill.
Wow, really?
Unlimited bill, Diaz and I, 2 gentlemen going out on the town, Capitol Grill, KOP, and I get to do it up from the toes all the way up to the ceiling, man.
And if he isn't a Hall of Famer, the bill's on you?
That is correct.
So are you feeling good?
No.
You're not. You don't think he's going to get in tonight?
I do think he gets in, but it's not. I still feel like this is. I have more confidence in the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well, I mean, don't we all have confidence in that? I would hope you'd be more confident about that.
Where are you at with Eli Manning tonight?
So I think he gets in. We can debate the accolades and the career and whether he deserves it or not all we want. It's a really fascinating case study, really. Just like, wasn't that exceptional of a player, 2-time Super Bowl champ, whatever. We can go through the numbers and
I think
compare them.
You're spot on. It's really an interesting conversation because he wasn't that great of a player.
Exactly.
He was damn good though to get the job done in those 2 times, beating Tom Brady both times.
Exactly. So I think, I mean, it's an interesting conversation whether he deserves to be in or not. But the question is, if he gets in tonight, I think the answer is yes. And you hit on it. He is a really nice, respectful, like high class citizen, and that really helps people a lot. Helps guys a lot when they're on the ballot. Like I don't know exactly who votes on it, but it's a committee of I think
50
media members, a lot of media members. So if you had good dealings with the media is more likely to put you in and vote you in. And everyone who I've ever encountered, and I've met his college roommate at Ole Miss, who's a quarterback coach now, trained some of the top quarterbacks in the country. I've met a lot of people who know Eli Manning and have seen him out. Everyone loves the guy. Yeah. Like he is just an excellent, good dude all around. And you can see it. It comes across on television. Obviously, he's corny and quirky and all that, but he seems like a good guy. That helps you get these votes. And I think media members like him, respect him. So I think he's going to get in.
Yeah. Also, that's two things. One, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. I think that has
from New Orleans.
It has it. You know, again, I'm taking anything I can get on my side here. Right?
When I was in New Orleans, I went to the Mannings. I think it was like a restaurant, pub, or whatever. It was a good spot. I actually watched Sixers playoff game there when I was in New Orleans like a couple Mays ago.
They probably lost to the Celtics.
I think they actually did. I think it was that series. I think it was May. It was May 2 or 3 years ago. We watched it at the Mannings. Good spot in New Orleans.
Like a broken clock, right? And the second thing that I would say, and this is people are going to laugh at me, there's a graphic that Schefter put out that was made by ESPN. He's front and center in the middle of the graphic. Do you think that has anything to do? Now, let me ask you, would they put him in the center of the graphic if he was not getting it?
I mean, maybe just because even if he's not getting in, he's going to be the big talking point. People are going to talk about him, even if he doesn't get in, more than the people that did get in.
So I'm a little wrong on that one. Because I did send the graphic to Diaz, and he goes, I'm not feeling great that he's in the middle of the graphic.
Yeah, I don't know. All
right. Look, we got Super Bowl to talk about. The big deal right now for the Eagles is, we got an injury report that Jalen Carter was featured on due to a sickness. And we've heard Vic Fangio speak about it. And it's definitely something that we should all be concerned of. And what I would say is it doesn't concern me about Jalen Carter for Sunday. You know what concerns me is the fact that this could spread. And this could be an issue for a team in a locker room. So that's the one thing that goes to my mind. I would say Jalen Carter on yesterday, he was revealed as on the report, and he was dealing with a sickness. They didn't go into detail. But you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, IVs. He's not out on Bourbon Street. They're going to get him the best care.
I hope not. You never know with Jalen Carter.
It's a business trip. So ultimately, I am confident that Jalen will be ready to go, ready to kill somebody on Sunday on the field. Now, with that being said, where do you stand on that conversation? Because again, anything is possible. This could spread. We've heard of this before. Didn't a college football team deal with it? I think Penn State.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. That's right.
Well, thanks for clarifying on the field first. You always got to do that. But I'll say I'm not concerned about it. He's absolutely going to play, no doubt. Yeah. Like, come on. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. Jalen Carter's playing, even if he has to get off his deathbed. He's playing in the Super Bowl. Again, Vic Fangio said it wasn't just him, though. He indicated Jalen Carter, and it's going around the team, which is concerning. You don't want to deal with this. Jalen Carter might be the most important player for the Eagles on both sides of the ball in that game. He is an absolute game wrecker. Putting pressure on Mahomes, closing in the pocket, forcing him to make plays with his legs and scramble outside is something the Eagles are going to have to do. Jalen Carter is at the front and center of that. He's double teamed every single time he rushes the passer. He's that good. So you need him. The Eagles need him at 100%. We still got 3 days. I'm not really concerned that he's not practicing. Isolate him for now so he doesn't get other guys sick. Hopefully it's not. Maybe it's like a 24, 48-hour thing. I mean, it's been 48 hours at this point, I guess, if he hasn't showed up the last 2 days. Hopefully it passes by tomorrow, Saturday, and he's good to go. No doubt he's playing, but we need him 100%.
All right. Sean Bernard's watching. He's checking in. He said apparently Kyle Pagan is patient 0 for this Eagles sickness.
Is that true? I just saw him with Big Dom. So
he did a video
problem
with Big Dom, and he had no voice, I thought. So I just assumed that he was hungover, and apparently he was sick. Interesting. That's not good.
Imagine if he ends the Eagles season.
So he got Big Dom sick, and Big Dom now spread it to the team. That's not good, Kyle Pagan. Hopefully that's fake news out there that I just spread on my timeline.
We got to hope that's fake news, because imagine if he's the guy who's patient 0 for the Eagles' sickness and the derailment of their Super Bowl.
Poor Pagan gets Big Dom to do that video with them, which had to be a tough, a couple hurdles to hop
he
over.
also didn't speak in it. Big Dom didn't even speak in it. It's funny he agreed to do it and just said like one word.
All right. And then Beef checking. Eli Manning is my cousin's basketball coach. 5-year-old girls in North Jersey. How about that? Nice work. Hey, look, Eli, we'll find out tonight whether I'm eating like a fat man at the Capitol Grill, which is a tremendous place. Oh, my nice juicy steak, glass of wine, some asparagus. What else?
Go crazy with
mac
that.
Oh, the sides, dude. I'll have every side on that menu.
Yeah, Capitol.
Chocolate cake afterwards.
And bring some wine bottles for the to go too.
Ooh,
Why not?
Can get a little wine to go.
What do you think that bill would be? Do you have a target number? I know you do.
I would be respectable. I wouldn't crush them.
Why? 5-year bet. You really rarely see these come to fruition. Yes. 5 years.
Here we are. I've been a part of one other 5-year bet.
What's that?
And I won that one too as well.
What was it? Well, you didn't win this one yet, but what was it?
Why am I? Yeah, what am I doing? I can't do that. This is a good one. This is from back in those days too. How about that? This is a Duke bet. Who would have a better professional career? Mike Dunleavy Jr. or Jason Williams?
Oh, wow, that bet was a while ago.
That bet was a while ago, and I won because I had Dunleavy and Jay Will couldn't complete his career.
Yeah, I mean that's what you call a bad beat. That's a bad beat. That is whoever took the other side.
Shout out
should
Jay
have avoided.
Will.
Sportsbooks would have avoided that bet, but Mike Dunleavy making moves for the Warriors right now.
Yes, he is. All right, great segue on that one, Sam. Nice work. Let's talk about the NBA trade deadline that is coming up here. What time is it officially?
3:16. So the deadline has passed.
Oh, it was 3 o'clock. I thought it was 4 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
All right, bad job by me. Anyways, but you know how it works. Paperwork could get in a little late. Wink, wink. So with that being said, where are we at right now from the 76ers perspective? They were wheeling and dealing. I have people that are dialed into the NBA community that are throwing their hands up in the air and they just have no idea what the hell the 76ers are doing. I see picks getting dealt out due to the fact that Caleb Martin, the NBA stepping in saying, whoa, he's not exactly 100% or not exactly what you said as far as the injury was concerned. Have to throw in an extra pick to sweeten the pot, which I thought was ridiculous. But there's a lot of question marks right now. Matter of fact, Bill Simmons put out the top 5 teams that he has no idea what direction they're going in, and the 76ers were number 1. What are you saying about all of these moves? Where are we at right now with this organization?
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of the moves are fringe moves. I don't think they necessarily change the outlook of this season or the next few seasons too much. Obviously, getting rid of Caleb Martin, the guy that you just signed to this pretty long contract, that's a big deal. But again, he wasn't really producing at the level you thought he would this season. He's been injured up and down. It's not all his fault because he's dealt with a bunch of injuries, and now he has this hip injury, which apparently isn't 100% healed. And that's interesting. I mean, what did they actually tell Dallas where they were saying, okay, he is healthy, he isn't healthy, and why'd the league have to get involved? There's a lot of confusion around that, and eventually it was probably like, all right, he's healthy, but he's not 100% healthy as maybe much as you said, pending a physical. So they made them throw an extra pick in. That's mysterious. It feels like the league's always getting involved with something Sixers related, which is just, it's what happens when you're the 76ers and there's an eye on you from those Sam Hinkie days when the league had to step in mightily. But again, a lot of it is salary filler, that they're just clearing the salary. They want to get under the luxury tax. Of course, Josh Harris cares about that. On the cheaper side of ownership, he wants to, for whatever reason, even though he's one of the richest dudes probably around, but he wants to get under the luxury tax, since that's what they're doing. So they trade Reggie Jackson, get rid of KJ Martin. Obviously Caleb Martin is also gone, and then you got to bring in Jared Butler from the Wizards, who really hadn't played a lot in his NBA career. I'm not sure exactly why. I haven't watched too much Wizards hoops this year. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's exactly what I texted somebody too as well.
But he was awesome at Butler. Obviously, or excuse me, not Butler, Baylor. Obviously, Baylor won the national championship in 2021. He was incredible for them that year. He won most outstanding player in the Final Four. Hasn't gotten a lot of opportunity, but he's a good shooter. He's a good scorer. He's a really small guard. That's probably why he hasn't found the way on the floor a lot. Liability defensively because of his height.
6'3".
But he's just not really like a physical guard either. But so I'm not like, it's not some game changer bringing in Jared Butler. But the big thing is Quentin Grimes, who I think is an awesome player. I really am a fan of Quentin Grimes as a role player. Ever since that 2022-2023 Knicks season, he's a great shooter. He's a willing defender. He's just kind of a good like 3-and-D guy, and I think he fits that role of what the Sixers are looking for. When a guy like Caleb Martin is going out, you want to bring in a guy like Quentin Grimes, who I think is going to have an immediate impact on this team if they're completely healthy, and he could be a solid bench piece for a potential playoff run.
Now, yeah.
Well, look, they're gonna be in the play-in. They are. I mean, the Bulls are completely. Wow. The Bulls are completely tanking.
Well, hang on. Are you telling me Joel Embiid plays the rest of this season? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not telling you that. But even without him, I think they're a playoff.
I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet right now.
Well, the Bulls want to start losing, and that's what you saw with that Zach LaVine trade, which you got nothing back in return. But they want to start losing.
This team is
they're only a game back of the Bulls right now, that 10th seed.
I know.
I think Maxey could leave them to a 10th seed.
You know what? Put Paul George on the bench with his pinky and Joel Embiid. Look, that's the issue. It's like I just want to enjoy what I had 2 nights ago. Like that vibe, that Dallas Maverick victory, albeit without Anthony Davis, without Luka out there, Kyrie by himself, essentially. I know Dallas still has players, but still. It might have been a different ball game if you did have AD instead of whoever else was filled into pieces. But they did win. And I want to give all the credit in the world to Joel Embiid. He looked great, triple-double, scored 30. It was a fantastic game, and it had a great feeling inside my body to sit there and watch that game and be entertained. And then at the end of it, I just was like, oh, should I step in the rake? And it's like, I'm not doing that to myself. So what I'm here to do now, and I would push it to 76ers fans, unlike maybe Bernard, who's already like, yeah, they're a playoff team. You've been screaming this from day one. Yes. Yeah. You freaks out there that are locked on this team, making the playoffs. I'm okay with it. I understand. But for me, who has been a negative Nancy, who has just been completely done with this team from November, I just want to enjoy Sixers basketball again. And then what happens? Joel Embiid gets out there, and he doesn't play last night. Now, I'm not saying that he was supposed to. I understand the deal. He's not playing back-to-backs.
No, but it's not even just not playing back-to-backs. It's also
just
your
ridiculous,
first game back
Sam.
after not playing. Your first game back after not playing for weeks and weeks on end. You're not going to play 2 in a row. It doesn't matter who you are.
Come on.
I mean, you're not. You're just like even me. Even someone like you or me, if you haven't played basketball in a while and then you play one game,
he looked good.
I know that, but you're not going to play back to back. If the game was tonight,
so there's no sense of urgency. We're in February. This team has been a disaster, and we can't have a little bit of sense of urgency, some awareness that we are completely underperforming for the people that fill these stands, and we are a laughing stock of the association. Like, can we just have a little bit? Just maybe we say, let's change our approach.
What's the approach to change?
Play Joel Embiid.
Okay, but your entire season and your future hinges on his health. So if you're going to do something to risk one basketball game, I know, but what he's not. They didn't trade him like they did, like the Mavs did with Luka 2 years ago, which maybe you could revisit and say they should have in hindsight. They didn't though. So he's still part of this team's future for now. So his long-term health is more important than one game, especially when you're not going to get to the 6th seed. You're going to be in the play-in. You should be in the play-in, assuming the Bulls tank. You're going to be in the play-in. You're not going to get to the 6th seed. So you can sacrifice one game. There should be a higher sense of urgency, but you're not going to start rushing it because we're in February now. You're still going to play this patient game with Embiid's health.
Can't rush it.
But I will say a positive of this whole deadline is what they were doing was they were trying to dump salary so they can pay Gershon Yabusele in the offseason. He's going to come. He's been awesome this year.
Is probably stay though.
I'll answer that in a second. He's been the lone bright spot all year. I mean, Maxey's been really great recently too.
Yep.
Is he going to stay is a different question. I don't think the Sixers start making these moves unless they have some assurances from his agent.
Interesting.
Saying we'd be willing to take a little bit less, because the Sixers will still get an offer that's higher than what the Sixers can offer him. But we'd be willing to take a little bit less as long as it's somewhat a comparable offer to stay here, because Daryl Morey's the guy that brought him over. Obviously, I'm sure he has a good relationship with Yabusele's agent. You don't make these moves unless you have those assurances from the agent.
It was just polar opposites, Sam. Monday night, so excited, happy, smiles. Or Tuesday night, just, oh, man, Joel Embiid looked great. gets the ball in the basket, down low, running around. Then the tweet afterwards, the Instagram post. Like, I love it, you know? And then we suit up last night. Paul George comes out of nowhere, bad pinky and all, and steps out on the floor, and he was a disaster.
I mean, you should have learned your lesson from Christmas Day. Like Christmas Day, all three of those guys played together. They beat the Celtics. I was like, oh, watch out for the Sixers. This is the beginning of something. Yeah. And then we don't see Embiid for a while.
All right. So let's stay with last night. And this league, hashtag this league.
Crazy.
Nothing better than the NBA.
Crazy.
And for people that want to say, like Jared Smith, I love him. And he was like, the best part about the NBA regular season is the trade deadline. And I was just cracking up. And I want to go back at him and say, come on, man. You know, NBA hoops, it's great. It's fantastic. You know, all that good stuff. But was there anything better on your timeline last night than the Miami Heat fan behind the bench telling Kevin and the rest of the team the trade that just went down for Jimmy Butler, piece by piece, and then yelling out, you guys won, then he yells out, we won the trade, as if he's playing, as if he's a part of that franchise. He tells the bench, yeah, we won that trade, man. I could not.
It was in Philly too. It was in Philly.
Yes. Some people got it wrong. Some people said he was a Sixer fan. I'm like, no, he was a Miami Heat fan and a Miami Heat jersey behind the bench. He's a diehard, obviously. He's probably one of those wackos that record everything when they go into the stadiums just to get opposing fans mad and all that. That's a big trend these days.
Well, any content creation for an extra 10 likes on Twitter, Instagram.
I am so anti that.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube, and give us a follow at Fox Sports The Gambler. I've been doing a lot on that channel, and there's a couple videos that have surfaced lately from the NFC Championship game, and it's just like, all right, is that how? Like, well, I'm not asking fans to be, you know, scumbags. Like, I don't want you to be, but things are going to be said in that environment, and it's just, man, really, like now, and that guy who did what he did to the Green Bay Packer fans, screw that guy. But you know,
that Packers guy was asking for it.
Yes and no.
He went in with a video camera strapped to himself.
We don't know so if he walks in with that video camera strapped to himself, is he supposed to get that? Like, I don't know if he said anything. We don't know that.
Well, I don't think, what the guy said was unacceptable to his fiance, wife,
correct,
whatever. That was unacceptable, but he wanted to expose Eagles fans on some level.
Sure.
And so he could get more clicks and some type of content creation. That's why you do that. And I'm sure there's no way he went in with a camera without having a plan of provoke on some level. And I'm going to provoke. And that's what he did.
That seems to be the going rate these days for a lot of these people. You're right. Everything is content. And I just,
it's sad.
I'm not a fan of the and you know, maybe look, you can go live. I guess that's the same thing. But when you're rolling in with the camera strapped to your chest and the GoPro on your head and you're sitting behind the bench and you're taunting, like, things are going to be said. So whatever. Anyways, keeping it moving. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA trade deadline. Luke Arcani says, fire Morey. He didn't bring Ben Simmons home.
Imagine how you would be feeling today.
Lose my mind.
If Ben Simmons was a Sixer. Hey, could be this offseason.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding.
No, he's cooked.
He missed his Philly, though. He didn't appreciate the fans as much.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't appreciate the fans.
All right, but the NBA trade deadline did come and go, and we did have some incredible moves. And I'll tell you what, the starting five that you could put together from all of the moves, pretty good, Sam. As a matter of fact, I believe Clutch Points did it. You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Luka, you got AD, you got Levine, and you got Jimmy Butler. Can you top that starting five?
Yeah, well, I put this tweet out at the time, and I honestly missed a few guys. But when you combine all the players that move teams and combine their total all-star appearances, 30 all-star appearances between all those guys. Well, that's never happened in the history of the NBA. Let me read them to you. We got Luka, 5-time All-Star, AD, 10-time All-Star, Jimmy Butler, 6 times, De'Aaron Fox once, Brandon Ingram once, Andrew Wiggins once, Chris Middleton 3 times, Zach LaVine twice, D'Angelo Russell once. That's 30 total all-star appearances between all those guys. That has never happened in the history of the NBA trade deadline. So it was a remarkable, crazy deadline. And it's interesting because a lot of people think that the power went back to the players with the teams.
The power back.
Yeah, the teams were like, and owners were like, let's take the power back. And they thought they saw that shift.
One franchise,
Luka and AD And then that trade went down. Nico Harrison did take that power. It was
Correct.
really a power move, what he did to Luka. But that's not the reality of the NBA. You still saw Jimmy Butler force his way out. De'Aaron Fox requested a trade, or he didn't request officially, but it was an underground request, and he moved out pretty quickly. It's still, the players want to get moved. They're still going to get moved. The power will never be back with the teams, with how much leverage players have these days.
All right. Yeah. In the Jimmy Butler situation is ridiculous. We're going to talk a lot more NBA. Julian Edlow is going to join us from DraftKings Sportsbook on the other side. We're going to get back over to Super Bowl 59, talk some more Birds and Chiefs. The Jimmy Butler situation with me just kills me because now he got rewarded. He forced his way out. He's getting a new contract or extension, excuse me, and he's playing with Steph Curry out in Golden State. Whatever, like, good for you, Jimmy. Reward him. That's fine. I know you'll have a lot to say about that. Save it because we'll get it on the other side. But back over to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59 coming our way on Sunday. ESPN this morning on Get Up, every one of them took the Chiefs. I'm driving in. Everybody's on the Chiefs. Nobody wants to pick against Mahomes. Nobody wants to pick against Andy Reid. Sam, I'm on the Philadelphia Eagles. I know you are as well. I think a lot of the Gambler gang is. Where's Julian Edlow? He's going to join us on the other side via the stream from DraftKings Sportsbook. More after this.
Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green.
I always dreamed about it, but the dream wasn't just getting there. The dream was winning there. So that's what the mindset's at.
All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Getting better on the Schuylkill westbound from University to Girard. An earlier disabled vehicle there has been cleared. In Northeast Philly, careful Cottman Avenue northbound between the Boulevard and Bustleton Avenue. Right lane still blocked from damage from Friday's plane crash. Brandon Joseph, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
Here we go. Sean Brace for DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, this ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny bowl. This is the Super Bowl 59, and it's time for you to get on the action on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Now, scoring touchdowns is the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you could score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet on touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? We'll try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. All you got to do is just go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and make your pick. New DraftKings customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do is just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5, and it's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
When a scrub daddy meets a scrub mommy, any clean is possible. This Valentine's Day, bring a smile to your kitchen with Scrub Daddy, the sponge that smiles back. You'll love their high-performance, happy designs. Check out the full line of scrubbers and sponges, cleaners, erasers, and more at scrubdaddy.com. And bring home a colorful scrub mommy to introduce to Scrub Daddy. Now available at your local retailer and online at scrubdaddy.com. That's scrubdaddy.com. Scrub Daddy. Smile while you scrub.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Pitches it out to Barkley. Takes off to the outside. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Saquon Barkley. 60 yards on his opening touch.
Oh, can we get some more of that? That would be a great way to kick things off down there in New Orleans on Sunday. You know, I tune in to a lot of shows, whether it's regular sports talk radio on TV or the podcast. I don't really get that much of an opportunity to listen to. Sirius, all the things on ESPN and VSiN. And I mean this sincerely, Sam Oshtry from The Score. 90% of the people on the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's just something as simple as you can't go against Mahomes. Steve Spags is incredible. He has been the defense coordinator 24 times, and I believe has only allowed one 100-yard rusher in a playoff game 24 times as the defense coordinator. Only one time a player has rushed for over 100 yards. I get it, man. The Eagles are built for this moment. There's an opportunity to finish the story. There's a lot left to desire for this team, and I think the motivational factor is going to apply more so than ever for this team coming up on Sunday. Bulletin board material sometimes works. You know when it worked? In 2004, Bill Belichick brought it up to his team before they beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Jacksonville. He said, you want to see something? They already started planning the parade route. So, look.
You mean when they cheated and then were spying on their practices?
Spygate. Joining us right now, representing the folks over at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's been a minute. It's great to see him via the stream. The one and only Mr. Julian Edlow. Julian, how are we doing today, sir?
Appreciate the Spygate transition. Worked perfectly.
Hey, man, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
Some would say so.
Hey, look, you know, no one's going to bring up deflated balls 2 decades from now. If sickos from Philly will remember Spygate, other than that, maybe Steelers.
I'll stand on that one. If we're differentiating the two, taping another team's walkthrough is much more of an advantage than whatever balls Tom Brady was using. And we saw so the next season when Tom Brady was suspended 4 games, would have won the MVP if he had played the whole season. He had one of his best years, and then they won the Super Bowl. So I think we can toss. You can use whatever balls you want to use. Tom Brady's going to be Tom Brady.
Exactly.
That's the one that I will stand up for.
Brady on the call on Sunday, of course. Super Bowl 59, big game 59. We're allowed to say it on radio. You just can't use it in promotional standards and all that good stuff. Anyways, the big game. And, of course, DraftKings. When you talk about it from DraftKings perspective, you can actually say it. So, as I have a couple reads that are rolling right now for all things big game 59. But, Julian, let's go ahead and fire up DK, and let's talk a little bit about the number and where we're at. Monday, Eagles were plus 120, if I'm not mistaken, on the money line. Even money yesterday. So it kind of continued to come down all the way to where we were at. I believe at one point we saw the Eagles were minus 105 on DraftKings Sportsbook, the money line. Currently holding steady at plus 100. Chiefs are minus 120. If I had to ask you to look into your crystal ball, and you talk to many people that are behind the scenes at DK, what are we looking at come kickoff on Sunday? What are we looking at 3 o'clock on Sunday? Any movement on either the money line or the side?
It's a good question. We've seen some shops, not DraftKings, some shops move to 1 throughout the course of the week. DraftKings has held steady as far as I know at 1.5. It was Eagles plus 1.5 minus 115. I am curious. It's a really good question. I should probably ask someone, a Johnny Avello or a somebody of that nature for their thought. But I want to say, you know, with all the Chiefs love, that maybe this could be some sharp reverse-ish line movement, and you see it go to Eagles plus 1. That said, I know, you know, I would be shocked if the Chiefs don't turn into the need. The Chiefs already have more of the money. They're probably going to take the public money come the weekend. And we've got some whoppers. I know it's hard to differentiate, but you have to factor Super Bowl futures into the need when it comes to the game for what the book is rooting for. That's just part of it. So, I know I was sent today. We get there's some bets that we can share at DraftKings, and there's some we can't. VIP customers, you can't. Public bets, you can. However, I can now share a new one as of this afternoon from over a year ago. This bet was placed when Super Bowl odds first popped. This is before Kansas City even beat San Francisco in the last Super Bowl. This is from January 28th of 2024. $100,000 on the Chiefs plus 850. So DraftKings has to pay out $950K to that person alone if the Chiefs win this game. I would be stunned if the Chiefs aren't the need. I don't know if it's going to be 1.5 or 1. I see a difference in that number because I think teasing Philly to 7.5 is a great play in this game. And I'm leaning Philly in this game.
Hey,
but you got to be terrified. I know I'm the guy that said Eagles under. Eagles aren't a contender in September. And
welcome to the dark side, friend. Welcome to the dark side.
You've influenced me.
But getting the Eagles at 7.5 in this game, if there's one outcome, I don't think there will be. I don't think the Chiefs are going to blow the Eagles out. I think Philly's got a good shot in the game, but if the Chiefs win, it's going to be a one possession game. I feel pretty good about that. So I have a Chiefs plus 550 ticket in pocket. I've been taking a bunch of Eagles 7.5. I've been putting it with different legs throughout the week. For a same game one, I like it with over 42.5. I think we should see some scoring. For that not to win, the Chiefs have to win going away in a low scoring game. I can't get with that game script. So I do think Eagles plus 7.5 and over 42.5 is a pretty strong bet, just because I'm terrified to go against Mahomes in some senses. It's a semi hedge / middle off of my future that I have in hand.
Now, I know, look, we are prisoners of the moment, and when it comes to wagering on certain things, for most people, maybe not you specifically, and it's tough for us here in Philadelphia to say, last week was last week, and we can't see that carry. Julian, this team is playing great football right now. The Eagles are absolutely rolling, and they played a bad game against the Packers and won by double digits. The Rams game, a little fluky with the conditions, but at the end of the day, they were a damn good team in that game. They roll out and score the most points in a championship game in the history of those games. I just feel like that is going to continue. And I know how good this Kansas City Chiefs defense is, and I understand Spags, so I want to give them all the respect in the world. But when you add Saquon into the mix, and that's the huge difference here, that's their bread and butter. I really do feel pretty confident about this Eagles team going down there and handling business. And to the point that I think that they're going to win by more than a touchdown. I do. I've been on that. That has been my feel for the last probably 6-7 days here. And it's tough because if you say it to somebody, of course, they're going to say, you're from Philadelphia, of course. I get it, but I can give you the reasons why. And it starts and ends with Saquon Barkley and that offensive line. The challenge is there. Motivational factor. You heard me, just plugging you when we were coming in, talking about that. Do you think that has anything to play in a game like this for 2 weeks? All you've heard about is the three-peat. That's number one. That is it. It's not about the Eagles. It's about the Kansas City Chiefs making history. It's about Mahomes and Reed and Spags, and they're not going to give up 100 yards to Saquon Barkley, who is historically having one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen behind one of the best offensive lines I have ever seen in my life. I just think the motivational factor is there for the Eagles, start and end. Your thoughts on whether or not that plays into anything on Sunday?
Yeah, I've heard the comp a couple times this week of the 07 Patriots-Giants game, and it's different, but it's going for something that hasn't been done, although, there was the Dolphins' undefeated season. But the Patriots looking to go 19-0, all the pressure was on them. And, it made it easy for the Giants. Not easy, credit to them, but it made it, doable for the Giants to say, screw it. We're playing with house money. What does it matter what we go out here and do? We're supposed to lose by 2 touchdowns. All the pressure on that game was in New England. The difference is the spread in that game was 14. The spread in this game is 1. But yeah, there's pressure on the Chiefs because it's like, the Patriots had to win that game to go 19-0. There's no do-over. There's no we'll win it next year because it's not the same thing. For the Chiefs, they could lose this game and go win it next year, but they still didn't three-peat. The Patriots had on the back end of that dynasty, they did 3 in 4 years, but didn't get the three-peat. So like, there's no do-over for this game. There's no way to make it up unless you go out and win 3 in a row the next 3 years. Like, so there is that pressure there. Again, like Philly is overall the better team, big quarterback advantage, I would say, for Kansas City, and a coaching advantage for Kansas City. Everything else you put on the Philly side. I'm just still terrified of Mahomes. I'm terrified of Spagnuolo and that defense. Like, I think Philly should be able to run on Kansas City. Kansas City gave up some big plays to James Cook in that AFC title game. So Philly should be able to run, but I'm terrified that Spagnuolo comes up with some type of scheme that, nixes that just enough to keep them in the game. So I don't know about the Eagles by more than a touchdown, just because of how much respect I'll give to Kansas City. But yeah, they have pressure on them. And yes, they do have a lot of disadvantages on the field. It's just, can the coaching and quarterback advantages make up for it? It generally does for Kansas City, but this is a very good Philly team. And it's going to come down to a mistake. Does the team make a mistake? Philly probably wins that last one without the fumble that goes back the other way. Like, are one of these teams going to make a big mistake? And both of these teams have been phenomenal at preventing against making big mistakes. So if both teams play a clean game, who do you favor?
Yep. Well, I do want to follow up by saying this to Sam. I know you're going to get in here. Alt line 5.5. I don't want to bite too much off before, that I can't chew here. I said 5.5 at plus 213 on DraftKings Sportsbook. That is my alt line. A little bit of a long shot swing there. Of course, we're on the money line with the Eagles. Got them immediately at plus 120. Hopped on the over, which made me look foolish because I can't believe that came down to 48.5. And then
and I was surprised by that too. And just to go to the splits, 84% of the money is on the over, but ticks down from 49 to 48.5 on a key number. That's a little, like, money balanced wise, the spread is the spread and money line are close enough to balanced. Obviously, futures are going to play a big role in the need. The total is not balanced. And I with you, like the over and teased the over. That's pretty interesting that more than 80% of the money is there and it ticked down. I feel like we see a game day move there that gets back up.
Not necessarily something we want to see when the public is all over one side, but it is the Super Bowl and everyone's going to have a wager on it. It's just buku amounts of money being
there's
put
so
out.
much. Let me just say, there's so much money on the Super Bowl. Sharp, square, pro, public, like, people are going to come out of the woodwork. Like, I don't know who has that $100,000 bet on Kansas City at plus 850, but like, people are going to come out of the woodwork that are just rich as hell. Not professional bettors, just people that can bet $100,000, $200,000 on the game that are just rich people. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. They're just like, I'm going to bet this much money on the Super Bowl. So like, this is the game that you can kind of throw that angle out and just trust your analysis and bet the game.
I like that.
Yeah, there's like people are gonna wake up, be like, oh, the Super Bowl's today. Like, I just have $100,000 lying around.
Yeah.
And let me toss it.
Drake's probably gonna bet $1 million on somebody. Yeah. Like, that's gonna shift everything, but that shouldn't count as like big pro money coming in.
Actually, I bet you Drake doesn't, because he's gonna pretend like he's not watching the Super Bowl. Because if he does, he has to watch Kendrick Lamar. Yes. So I bet actually Drake sits this one out.
That's a good one, Sam.
I was gonna ask about the Super Bowl MVP market. So I, like Brace, think Eagles big. I know, right? Shocker. But I really do. I really do think the Eagles win by more than one score. So assuming, and you said you lean the Eagles too. So assuming you're going to go for an Eagle on the MVP market, where are you leaning? I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, and I do think this is priced into the market too. And part of the problem with Jalen Hurts is that he's been so discredited all year and disrespected all year by a lot of the media, and those are the guys that vote on the award, that he would have to have an incredible game, like a 2022 type Super Bowl performance for him to get that award. If it's neck and neck between Barkley, I think they give it to Barkley. I'm still leaning Jalen Hurts to win Super Bowl MVP. Where are you on that?
Yeah, I know it's a market everybody wants to talk about. I have a pretty tough time like betting favorites for Super Bowl MVP. And I know you're going to get a better price on Hurts or Barkley than Eagles money line, but like, especially if you're an Eagles fan, like I would probably just bet Eagles money line. Not to be boring, but like, do you want to be rooting for it all game and then your team wins and you lose your bet because Barkley wins it instead of Hurts, or like vice versa? I don't know. So again, but if you're going to do it, 10, 20% of your wager. I'm going to go 80% Philly money line. I'm going to go 20% on Super Bowl MVP Hurts or whatever. So Hurts should be in a spot to have a good game. I kind of lean Barkley if you're making me pick between the two because of what we saw from Cook last week and because of how I think the Eagles can potentially expose Kansas City on the ground. He just has those home run backbreaker plays, as you guys know. Maybe look at long rush. I think it's 25 and a half yards. I bet that was my favorite bet in the Washington game. First carry. That was great. That's how you get a sweat-free winner right there. So yeah, when I go Super Bowl MVPs, I'm either going long shot or just betting on the team I like. And I'll go back to that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl. This is the story I tell every time somebody asks me about betting, like Mahomes versus Kansas City money line. The Patriots got steamed up a little against the Rams. I was getting nervous about laying minus 150 money line. I was thinking about going Brady like plus 120 MVP. I sucked it up. I bet Patriots money line. Julian Edelman won MVP of that Super Bowl against the Rams with all those catches. Like, I just go long shot or bet the team that I think is going to win the game. That's generally my advice. But again, I'm not going to tell you how to bet the Super Bowl. Split it up, bet it the way you want.
That's right. We got Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. Definitely want to talk a little bit about the NBA trade deadline and now that these rosters are coming together, but we're front and center for all things. Yeah, unbelievable. Texted him till 1:30 in the morning last night. Like, I couldn't even tell you the last time I was up this late, but here I was talking about, the Washington Wizards for the first time all season. Anyways, let me ask you about the hype behind this game, the fanfare from this game. Of course, we're gamblers. We love it. This is what we do for a living. Caught a couple people talking about the matchup and how like deflating this matchup is for people. And I don't know if that's the buzz or not, if that's the vibe for America. I'm just curious. Is that what you're getting, Julian, from this game? I know it was a little bit of a letdown from the Chiefs perspective. Here we go again with them. Buffalo would have been cool, whatever. But like Detroit Eagles, it's all the same for me. And like, look, even if the Eagles weren't in it, like last year, I was stoked. I was fired up for the 49ers and the Chiefs. I can't wait to see who's the best of the best. These are the best two teams that remain. So I'm looking forward to this game, even if I wasn't, or even if I didn't have a rooting interest in this game. Putting the betting to the side, are you fired up for this matchup? Are you getting that vibe as well? Or do you think this is a little bit of a deflated Super Bowl matchup that we're seeing on Sunday?
No, I enjoy it. I think we've got two of the best four teams for sure, call it. And if the other one's Buffalo and whoever, like, you're splitting hairs. Like, these are two teams that deserve to be here. I'm excited for the Chiefs going for a three-peat. I'm excited for the Eagles going for revenge off of a loss in this exact matchup 2 years ago. I like it. Locally, I guess if you want to go to Boston, people don't like the Chiefs or Eagles, so they're just kind of, when you got Patriots fans rooting for the Bills, it means they really don't like the other teams, I guess. Put it that way. But fans get invested like that with their heart. I'm kind of over that part. I don't know if it's just being in sports for so long or being invested now with my money. Like, it takes you away from caring about this, petty stuff as much. Like, I don't care that people, in my neck of the woods don't necessarily like these teams. Like, that does nothing for me. I think it's a great matchup with a lot of storylines. And yeah, people here just don't like the Eagles, and obviously they don't want Mahomes to be in the Brady conversation, so they don't want the Chiefs to win this game. So, like I said, how people were rooting for Buffalo a couple of weeks ago in New England, I think they're mostly rooting for the Eagles now.
That's funny. Talk to us about a play, or maybe a play that you have in your pocket, or play that you might have heard around the office. The one that I was listening to Joe Fortenbaugh, one of our favorite gas bags in the sports gambling community. He was rolling out Trent McDuffie sacks. First sack was like 50-1, I believe it was.
I was going to say that's got to be a steep.
Yeah, it went down now to 32-1 at one shop I saw. So money was coming in, and of course, just him to record a sack with the Spagnuolo approach, just the exotic blitzes, and I think he had a sack in the last time that they matched up last year versus the Eagles. So that's something to put out there. Me, I am riding on DraftKings Sportsbook in the specialty prop section. 1,500 plus 1,500, one rushing touchdown per quarter. Doesn't matter the team. One rushing touchdown per quarter plus 1,500. I thought that was a great bet, great value. And you know what? It makes sense as far as the X's and O's is concerned. Mahomes could escape out of the pocket. Don't have to go into the Eagles. That's understood. Is there a play that you have open, or that you have stumbled across somebody talking about that fetches a nice little number there?
I don't have anything. I don't have any long shot yet. We'll put it that way. I'm sure that I will come up with one by Sunday at 6:30. Especially, pregame, you get a little liquid courage going. You need something exotic, something exciting.
That's right.
But I haven't gotten there yet. Again, I'm getting, and this terrifies me. You know that I hate getting cute. Like, I'm just a don't get cute, bet it guy. I think you would get that vibe from my years on this show.
Oh yeah.
But I feel myself getting cute with this game because I have that plus 550 Eagles ticket, and then I'm plus 550 Kansas City ticket, and then I have Eagles plus 7.5. Like, ooh, great middle, but I need that over 42.5 to get through to create that middle. So I'm like, is it going to be a low scoring game? If it's a low scoring game, I kind of like the Eagles. Then you got to like defense. So we're going back to Sam's MVP market. Like, should I sprinkle on like Carter MVP, like to protect myself a little? So I'm spinning this web that I hope works out for me so that I can enjoy my Super Bowl Sunday. I'll just tell you, the only other two things that I have bet, or three things that I've bet so far. I bet Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts. I just think he's got to scoot a little bit. The Eagles are going to put pressure. 5.5 feels pretty good. As part of this semi-Eagles hedge while keeping my Kansas City to win the game alive, Eagles over 23.5 team total. We saw big scores, obviously, in the title games, conference championship games. The Chiefs have played 7 games against top 10 offenses this season. Bills twice, Tampa, Cincy, Denver twice, and there's one other in there. The opposing team scored 24 or more points in 6 of the 7 games.
Like that.
Denver stayed on, and Denver, who's the 10th best offense, was one of the unders. If you want to move that to top 7 offenses in the NFL, Chiefs played 5 of those games. The opponent scored 24 or more points in all 5 of those games. So the Chiefs have an elite defense, but when they play top 7 offenses, they give up points. Philly's offense, points per game, ranked 6th. They would group in with those teams. So Philly team total over 23.5 is on the card for me. And then a pretty standard one. I'm sure you guys have heard this week, but tight ends against the Chiefs. I did play Dallas Goedert over the 51.5 yards. He's been doing it in the postseason. He's done it 3 of the last 4. The miss was 47. You go back to the Super Bowl between these teams 2 years ago. 6 grabs on 7 targets, 60 yards. Feels like it's just always there for the tight end against the Chiefs. And it helps that this is a guy that actually is a part of the offense, factors in, has been playing well lately.
Right there with you on that one. The chemistry is there, and it was evident in that game against DC. 8 targets, and it's just something that seems to be working out for Jalen Hurts, finding Dallas Goedert. But again, you go down the timeline and you're seeing Devonta Smith and his the success that he's had against the Kansas City Chiefs the last 3 times. AJ Brown, like it's just so many guys I could talk myself into. So trying not to be cute to take a page out of your book, but at the end of the day, love the Eagles to win money line. That is where it's all at. Sprinkling on Jalen Hurts to have a big game. And as I said, a little alt action with the 5.5 for some plus money there. All right, Julian, great stuff. Can't wait to recap all things Super Bowl with you after the game goes down on Sunday, and we'll see what happens there down in New Orleans. But before we get out of here, let's talk some NBA real quick. First of all, the trade, dude. Luka goes to the Lakers. Sam has a great conspiracy theory. He thinks, I'm putting his words in his mouth, I'm going to paraphrase him here, even though he's here, the fact that Nico was Kobe Bryant's former marketing manager, so the connection is there for the Lakers, and obviously Luka giving him up at the age of 25, one of the greatest scorers the game has ever had, just went to the NBA Finals, went to the Western Conference Finals. Something has to be happening there. Are you smelling the conspiracy theory, Julian, as well? Does this make sense to you? Where are you at with the big damn deal as far as the trade deadline 2025 is concerned?
It's such a shocking and unheard of, uncomparable trade that I understand all the conspiracy theories. I don't think there's any conspiracy here. I just think the Mavericks are a combination of both that dumb and that fed up with Doncic not being in the shape that they want him to be in. And I am a lot of people are like, Luka, top 3 player. I'm if you want to call me this, a Doncic hater, in the sense of I have him more as a top 5 or 6 player. Like, is that low on him? I don't know. Like, a lot of people, and I don't think Boston, I don't know if this is Boston bias, but a lot of people are like, oh, Tatum clearly, or Doncic clearly ahead of Tatum. Like, I would probably prefer Tatum. I think between his defense and his availability to be on the floor every night, I would rather build a franchise around a guy like Tatum, like Wembanyama for sure. I think a lot of people would say SGA. Like, I can come up with 3, 4, 5 guys that I would rather start a franchise over than Luka Doncic. Most people would say he's top 3. So I'm a little down, I'll say, on Luka Doncic. Not that he's not elite.
Yeah.
That said, I would still never give up on this talent at 25 years old for anything short of the 5 guys or so above him on my list. Like, it's got to be that in return. You can't do it for an Anthony Davis and start taking pieces off the board. Dalton Connect, another first-round pick. Say, like, oh, whatever, we don't even need them. As long as we get Anthony Davis in this first-round pick, like, that's enough. They just got fleeced in terms of, you got to question the Mavericks front office integrity or something, but I don't think it's a conspiracy, so to say. So even for a guy that's somewhat down on Luka Doncic compared to how everybody else seems to feel, I would still never in a million years give up on him for anything that's not one of a very few things in the NBA, none of which are available on the trade market. Just like Luka Doncic should not have been available on the trade market. So yeah, I'm as stunned as everybody. And like, we'll see how it works out, and I don't necessarily think it's a great thing for the Lakers this year. Like, you can bet the Mavericks I think it's like close to plus 300 to have a better regular season record than the Lakers. I don't hate that. We have a lot of blockbuster specials up on DK Sportsbook available. Head-to-head wins for all the teams in these big trades. Win totals are back on the board. Specials on will Luka score 50 in a game, all types of stuff. So find that in DK Sportsbook. But yeah, I don't know if it's great for the Lakers short term, but they were going to be dead in the water in 2 years when LeBron's done, and then Anthony Davis is getting washed up as a big guy. Now they got somebody they can build around for 10 years just out of nowhere.
Mark Williams is a decent piece, though, right?
He's been playing great lately. Again, yeah. They got exactly what they needed. And with Austin Reeves, with Dorian Finney-Smith, like, they can give up a shooter like Connect for what becomes a huge need with Anthony Davis gone, and he's been playing well lately. So they got a good piece. Again, like, I just don't think they're ready this year. There's probably going to be a growing period, just like there is every time LeBron goes to a new team, every time Durant goes to a new team. Like, there's going to be a growing period. The Lakers are probably going to lose some games when they start playing together. No Anthony Davis tonight in Boston, but he's supposed to play Saturday. Both Luka and AD are supposed to make their debuts on Saturday. I think there's a good chance Dallas could wind up above the Lakers in the standings this season,
which currently are 26-25, holding down the 8th spot in the West. The Lakers 29 We'll see how that one plays out. We'll definitely hit on those DraftKings trade deadline specials on the other side. But Julian, can't thank you enough for popping up on here on a Thursday. Always great to connect. Good luck on all of those plays, and especially the Eagles. Oh man, it would be so good to just dethrone the kings of the land with the Kansas City Chiefs, slay that dragon. It's going to be a great game nonetheless, and look forward to covering it all with you next week. Always a pleasure, sir. And as I said, man, good luck on those plays.
My rooting interest will be the Eagles on Sunday. However, the jackpot comes with the Chiefs winning by 7 or less and the total going over 42.5. But I'm rooting for you guys.
Let's go. There he is. Great stuff, Julian. We appreciate that. Julian Edlow for DraftKings Sportsbook on the Gambler stream. Fantastic stuff live for you right there. On the other side, we'll get back over to the NBA. We'll fire up and take a look at some of those plays that they have on DraftKings Sportsbook. Can't wait to do that. And 2 quick notes from DK. First of all, 5 will get you 200. Brand new users. Yeah, if you're looking for a place to wager when it comes to all things big game, I can say Super Bowl when I'm talking about DraftKings Sportsbook because they have the rights. Do so at DraftKings Sportsbook. Brace is the promo code. They have the best touchdown props out there. So many things to choose from the coin toss, the gator. Everything is available for you if you're a new user. Brace promo code. And also, all you got to do, and I want to make sure that I get this right because it was put out there yesterday that we just started discussing this, but DK is running a special where they have over $250,000 in free bets, and they're just handing it out. They're just handing it out, Sam Oshtry. You know how they're handing it out? Yeah, like it's candy. They're saying, yo, if you want a piece of this pie of $250,000 worth of free bets, all you have to do, and let me just pull up the DK, you got to tweet at DK Sportsbook with your bet slip, okay? With the hashtag Let DK Cook. They got a nice little emblem there, pretty cool there. Let DK Cook. So screenshot your bet slip, tweet at DK Sportsbook, and hashtag Let DK Cook. That easy, and you can win part of the $250,000 in bonus bets being given away by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now that is going on until kickoff, but do it now. Get involved as you go on, and just continue to send those slips in. Good luck on all of that. And as always, good luck on those plays over at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's the Daily Ticket. Don't go anywhere. A lot to do. Just me and Sam from here on out. 6 o'clock. Finish the story. Luke Arcani. He's got Roy Burton joining him. Don't go anywhere more after this.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard want to put $1,000 in your hand. Keep it locked right here to the Gambler for your chance to win $1,000, all courtesy by our friends over at Gary Barbera on the Boulevard. Each weekday, that's 9 times a day, you'll hear a keyword at the top of the hour, and you could win $1,000. So, is the Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Gary Barbera's super goal to stay in control of the most cheap sold from 16,666. Right, Brandon Graham?
Boy, I guess.
Boom, shakalaka.
Cheap. Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Go Birds. I know, yeah.
Looking for the ultimate plan for Sunday's game? Dave & Buster's has everything you need to make your game day super. Enjoy massive TVs, next level food and drink deals, and unlimited video games for just $20. Ice cold $5 domestic drafts all day long. Fuel up with 20 delicious wings for just $20, spicy or sweet. Find your local Dave & Buster's and buy tickets in advance at daveandbusters.com. Don't miss the best game day Sunday party in Philadelphia. Head to Dave & Buster's for unbeatable fun, food, and drinks.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation. Our mission is to be the global value-added distributor of products and solutions to our customers. We were founded as a automotive recycler. So think of a junkyard, but we professionalized the business. We processed over 800,000 vehicles. And so we like to make sure that those vehicles do not end up in a landfill. Chemicals don't end up in the soil. And so we recycle, detoxify those vehicles, and then sell those products. We make money at it, but we're doing it from a sustainable standpoint. We created a foundation in 2020. We donate over $4 million. $1 million of that typically goes to employees or employee families, children for scholarships. We also have an employee relief fund. Think of some of the hurricanes that have occurred in Florida and some of the other markets where we will help not just our employees, but also help the communities for which we operate. It's critical for us to be known as a good corporate citizen and a good community supporter. We created this foundation to make sure we have a good opportunity to allocate that money out. We operate in Ukraine. We have 50 locations in Ukraine, so we not just help our employees in Ukraine, but also help some of the communities in those areas that are suffering just from the Russian invasion. LKQ being over 1,600 locations across the globe, 48,000 employees. If you really want to work for a company or support a company, buy from a company that is all about sustainability, that's how we were founded.
To know more, go to lkqcorp.com. Comcast Business, the complete connectivity solution, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas, and iHeartMedia Philadelphia want to send along congratulations to the NFC champions, your Philadelphia Eagles. BetMGM is a proud partner and your go-to app for all things Eagles. BetMGM says go Birds.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
With Hers, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans, like compounded GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. Based on pricing through Hers, save up to 91% per month with compounded semaglutide, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug. Get started at forhers.com/start today. That's forhers.com/start.
Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Sixers are adding draft capital in a trade deadline day deal. They ship Reggie Jackson to Washington for a pile of second-round picks and guard Jared Butler. Flyers ride a 4-game skid into tonight's game against Washington. Phillies back home after that OT loss in Utah Tuesday. And it's Super Bowl weekend with the Eagles taking on the Chiefs, and current DraftKings line is plus 290 for Dallas Goedert to score any one touchdown. I'm Scott Davidson.
Super Bowl 59 is set, and it's going to be big. You can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're seeing some volume build on the Schuylkill westbound from University to the Vine. Eastbound Schuylkill is heavy from Girard down to University. Vine Expressway, both directions, is heavy from the Schuylkill Expressway to Broad Street. No delays on 95 at the moment. Boulevard looks good through the city. Careful in Lower Merion, Belmont Avenue at Rock Hill Road. A disabled vehicle reported there. And in Northeast Philly, Cottman Avenue northbound, right lanes blocked between the Boulevard and Bustleton Avenue and for damage from Friday's plane crash. Careful in Jersey, 295 northbound at Mount Holly, Willingboro. A crash there takes out the right lane. Brendan Joseph, Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about recruiting, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto. Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
I cannot stress the urgency enough.
Your shot to win $1,000 is right now. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win.
Win.
That's win. Enter it now.
You heard the man. Well, what are you waiting for? FoxPHLGambler.com right now. $1,000 up for grabs. Go and get it.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green. All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
Amazing what happens when you get some live programming here. God forbid if we were able to do a little more of that. Hey now.
I'd love to.
I know. We got the horses.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Daily Ticket. You know, look, it's one of those deals, Sam, and I was listening to you and Sean on the ride home. I listened to Sean and Beef on Tuesday. Joe and Luke were not live yesterday, but that was a great listen on my way home. You know, and we've been trying it. And I think, like, look, there's so many things that go into it. But first and foremost, we lost our station manager due to COVID. And that was a brutal, brutal blow for us. And, you know, Mike was everything. Talarita, still rest in peace, sir. I miss him to this day. As a matter of fact, it's his son's birthday today. How about that, man? Young Mike, happy birthday. But, you know, like in that time, we were cruising. And I don't know if that would still be the way it was right now. But in that time, we had everything. And I was Monday, I was at Bet Rivers. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was DraftKings. Friday, we were at the Hard Rock. We had 6 to 8 with Eitan Shander. Jansen was doing live stuff. So, like, we were building a network. We were the real, like, at least forming a real radio station. We had sponsors. We had an investor. We had people believing. And then COVID hit, and it just changed everything for everybody. And on top of it, it hit us more harder than anything because we lost our station manager, Mike Talarita, who was leading the way for us. And it was brutal. It was crippling. And obviously Powers has stepped in a great way in the last year plus. But now it's still just piecemealing it together. But it's never been about not having the horses. It's never been about not having the personalities to get the job done. It's just a matter of, if we do it, we got to do it the right way. And it starts and ends with obviously taking care of the people that are ready to do what needs to be done. Because this is something that, like, as you have noticed in the last 2 weeks, like, we have hit the gas pedal hard, and it's to keep that up. Like, there's got to be something worth it on the other side. And if it's not, then you can't do it at that rate. And that's what is needed to be successful. It's so tough. I did Philly Evancer for a few years. And our first year, dude, we did over 1 million views. And I mean, we worked our stones off.
Yeah.
So, like, it was just like, all right, dude, we can't do this if we're not getting X. Like, come on, man. So it's just so tough. But I do believe in what we have. I do believe that there will be opportunities. And I know Powers is the right man for the job. With that being said, Sam, did you want to add anything with that?
No, I was going to say, let's keep rolling. Like, I feel like if anything, last 2 weeks or so, it's shown that we can do it and do it the right way. And let's keep rolling.
We appreciate everybody tuning in. One more time for the people in the back. Tomorrow, we'll be live. Woo!
Yards. Come on out to Yards Brewing Company.
That's right.
500 Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia, PA. Reading the address, 19123.
How about that? Did not know that. Yes, I know Spring Garden, of course. Yards is a fantastic brewery, plus unbelievable food, great gear, awesome spot with huge tables, TVs everywhere, beautiful tap room, modern. And I'll tell you what, the windows is a nice feature with the opening windows that you could see into the brewery and to where they make the beer, all those tubs, the vats, whatever you call those things. And we're going to be live tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. with a special edition of a football. Our Philadelphia Eagles are in the big game down in New Orleans. 59
3
Friday.
days.
Yes, 3 days.
3 days.
So come on out. If you're going to be in the area, we'd love to have you down at Yards tomorrow. The Gambler Gang will be down there. I'll be running around like a maniac. It's going to be a blast. And we're going to have giveaways. I think I'm getting some Super Bowl patches tonight to give away for some trivia. Ooh, I got a trivia question for you.
All right.
You ready?
Let's hear it.
Well, if I'm going to do trivia for you, let me just make sure I get this correct here. All right.
Eagles trivia, I presume.
It is Eagles. Sorry. Let me back it up. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles they won the Super Bowl back in Super Bowl 52. Remember that?
I remember it.
All right.
Just vaguely. No, of course I remember it.
There are 7 members that are currently on this roster from Super Bowl 52.
7?
7. Can you name them?
7 is a lot. All right. We got, obviously, Lane Johnson.
Correct.
Obviously, BG.
Correct.
Obviously, Jake Elliott.
That is correct.
Was Braden Mann on that team? No. Was he? 7. Are you sure it's 7?
Yes. I got it.
Braden Mann, I guess, is a no. Right?
Yes, that's wrong.
That's a no. All right, let me think. Offensive, there's no other offensive starters that were on that team. Who would be backup on the offense? Or older? Defense? I'm stumped after 3. You got to give it to me.
All right. One would be the long snapper.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, of course.
Rick Lovato.
Yeah.
Yep, we got that one.
Wait, but wasn't Dornbos long snapper for that Eagles team, or he retired just before the Super Bowl?
I believe he just retired, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I'm pulling it up. I gotta get
7 is a lot.
It is, but it's the real damn deal.
Because Kelsey and Fletch would have been, but not anymore. 7. I can't get to 7.
7.
So we got 4 right now.
Yes. Let's see here. You said Jake.
Said Lane, said BG.
Why is that not pulling it up right now? I just saw it. It was on an Instagram post. Sorry.
I don't know if this might be some fake news.
No, it is not. It is not. I need the answer. Come on, people. Help me out here. Let's see here. 7.
Because there's not even that many people from, I mean, there is from the 2022 team, obviously, but Eagles players on the Super Bowl. I can't think of, this is awesome radio, by the way. I can't think of anybody.
It said 7, damn it. I had it written down.
But go through the defense. Like, who else? There's not another offensive starter other than Lane. Who else would be on the defense that would have been on that team? Our defense is so young. Rookies, Darius Slay wasn't on the team. CJ wasn't on the team. Obviously, Kobe and Zach weren't on the team. Or defensive line is so young that they wouldn't have been even in the league. I'm trying to think. Like
Devontae was on that team.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was. Come on, Devontae Smith was the
Super Bowl
national
52
championship.
Eagles roster. Yeah, you're right.
They won the national championship in 2020. I knew this was fake news.
It is fake news. Where is this damn answer? I wrote it down and it's not in my email. Where is it? Oh, it's a bad job by me. All right, we're gonna wipe that one clean.
All right, there's 4. I just looked up. There's 4.
What is the 4?
We got the whole 4. Come
he
on.
said 7.
Fake news. You're making me think. Like, was I a fan of Lane Johnson, Brandon Ingram? Or it's not Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Graham.
My head is in the trade deadline. Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott, and Rick Lovato. Those are the 4.
That's it?
Yep.
Man, my guy said 7 on this Instagram post.
That's why you can't go on social media.
I wrote it down. I thought I had 7. Apparently, I only had 4.
I wonder who else he included that would have just.
No. He put 4, and I'm an idiot. I put 7 in my email as far as the answer was concerned, and I didn't put the names.
Like 7.
I thought I could come up with it off the top of my head without having the video in front of me.
Yeah, 7 would be a lot.
Yeah, 7 would be a lot. Why would I think that? All right, give me the buzzer. Give me the buzzer. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I'll find that video too. And when I do, I'm gonna rip the guy if he did say 7.
Good.
Anyways, nice work by me on that one, Brace. Good job there. All right, we're keeping it moving here. Fun show. Let's go ahead and quickly hit on this if we could, because the NBA trade deadline did take place last night. Of course, the Philadelphia 76ers were all over the map. Sam had a take on it a little earlier today where I was asking the group, is this going to lead to possibly a superstar or a star, coming back, or the fact that they would bunch up picks for the upcoming draft and move up? But that is not the case in your opinion. In your opinion, this was simply
You're talking from the Sixers perspective. Yeah, it was simply getting rid of getting under the luxury tax and getting rid of some salaries for next offseason when you can sign a Gershon Yabusele, and you want to clear some cap room. Again, you don't know if he's necessarily going to sign because another team will be able to offer him more money, but you cleared cap room where you can offer him more than originally if you didn't get rid of some of those contracts that you just offloaded, like a KJ Martin, a Caleb Martin, a Reggie Jackson, all those guys that the Sixers just got rid of. Now you can potentially sign Gershon Yabusele. And again, I don't think Daryl Morey and the Sixers do this move unless they have not 100% assurances, but unless he had a conversation with Yabusele's agent and has an indication that he'll be likely to sign for a little bit less this offseason.
I found the Instagram.
And what did it say?
It has 7.
Well, the guy is an idiot. Who is it?
He's lying.
Who is it? Call them out.
Dog Mondays.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who do you even name? I wonder who he named.
He said Goddard, Sweat, and Maddox. They were all drafted after that.
They weren't even in the league.
Why are you lying
Goddard.
to me? You mean to tell me I can't believe Dog Mondays on Instagram? I can't take that.
Is Dog Mondays like a Georgia Bulldogs account? This has to be a Georgia Bulldogs.
No,
account.
man, they're in a Philadelphia bar. They're all boozed up.
Dog Mondays, but like what is that? What's that even play off of? Like the Bulldogs from Georgia?
Yeah, he said Josh Sweat
Well, the
Avante Maddox and Dallas
guy
Goedert
is an idiot. He doesn't know ball.
Come on, man. And he fleeced me.
Yeah, I can't believe you fell for that.
I
Brace.
did. I did.
You had me so confused. Like 7?
I thought I could come up with him on the fly, and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's not 7. Because I looked at the roster, I'm like, there's not 7 names that are currently on this roster.
Yeah, come on.
It's a bad job by me. All right, I'm going to see myself out on that one. Slap
next
me
play,
around.
next play mentality.
Somebody hit up Dog Dog Mondays, who has 58,000 followers.
Jeez, he's lying to the people. That's.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead up at Dog Mondays and be like, yo, bro, why are you giving me fake news, man? So I can put it out and regurgitate it on air without doing my own research. It's a bad job by me.
We'll blame Dog Mondays.
Dog Mondays. It is. It's right there. I'll tweet that out. I'm putting that out on my behalf. So this way I don't get absolutely destroyed, at least somewhat, halfway. Email Dog Monday Sports at Gmail. They're on LinkedIn too. I'll be like, dude, you put out a fake.
Hit them on all socials, every communication, just to let them know.
Damn it.
How wrong they were.
All right. So there was only 4?
4.
And they were one more time?
Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott, Rick Lovato.
All right. There you go. I got Lovato, so at least I'm lucky there. All right. Let's keep it moving. Sixers, as I said, trade deadline came and went. Next game up for the 76ers. Where are we at with the Sixers here?
The Sixers schedule. So they have one of the hardest schedules in the NBA.
Oh, that's great. Great to hear.
Wait, did I read that wrong? It might be one of the easiest or one of the hardest. I got to pull up Tankathon again. But the Sixers' next few games.
They have the Pistons tomorrow night at 7:30.
Yeah, Pistons tomorrow night, 7:30. And then they're going to the Bucks, Raptors, Nets, Celtics. So they have a lot of winnable games. As we see it through, look, the Sixers, it all comes down to Joel Embiid's health. Like, we know that. We knew that from the beginning of the season. From where they were when they start off so poorly, when they come back and he plays so well against Boston on Christmas Day. The big three is playing together. What could this team be? Can they make a run? And then he's out for a while again. And he really has just said, like, it's kind of just up to God. I hope God can get me through this and get him and make him healthy and get him to play. You don't expect him to play back-to-backs, but with most of the season in the books, the All-Star break coming up, can he gain some help, some rest over there? That'll be a good stretch for him. He should be able to come back healthy. And let me just say, the Sixers, it wasn't the third hardest. It was the third easiest schedule in the NBA coming up. So the Sixers have a very easy schedule the rest of the season. So it's the Washington Wizards and the Toronto Raptors, the only teams with easier schedules. So a lot of winnable games, a lot of potential movement up the standings. But again, it all comes down to Joel Embiid's health and also Paul George's health to a lesser extent, but certainly Embiid.
All right. As far as the trade deadline for the other teams that were highly active, let's talk about the Sacramento Kings. What's going on in Sacramento?
Yeah, I don't like what Sacramento did at all in terms of getting rid of De'Aaron Fox. I don't blame that move because De'Aaron Fox obviously indicated to the team that he wasn't going to sign an extension and wanted out. So fine. But when you think about this Kings organization, how talented this roster had, this roster was. They had Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox on their team. They've made one playoff appearance in the last decade plus. One playoff appearance. It was a first-round exit. They lost to the Warriors in that first round, and that was a couple seasons ago. That wasn't with Tyrese Halliburton. It was with De'Aaron Fox because they shipped off Tyrese Halliburton early. But think about those two guys, two borderline all-stars. You had them both in the room. You have Domantas Sabonis. Year after year, a borderline all-star, top 25-ish, maybe 20-ish player in the league. And you've made one playoff appearance, and they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. And what you do is you go out and get DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. I like the move. Didn't work. They were struggling to start the season. Fire Mike Brown. From there, they start playing a lot better. Keon Ellis had a bigger role. He's an awesome defender, and he fit that point guard role. Malik Monk has been awesome, and I'm excited to see what he can do at point guard, because now with De'Aaron Fox in there, they're going to need Malik Monk to play more of the one. And I really like he's an awesome player. He's a great shooter. We know the scorer he is, but he also can play point guard and be more of a playmaker and creator for others. But what they did at the deadline is they got Zach LaVine, who I really like. The whole thing with Zach LaVine was he was never available. He wasn't a willing defender, and was really inefficient. He's shooting almost 44% from three this season. He's been incredibly efficient as a scorer, not as much as a ball stopper. He's more of a willing defender, and he's played most of this year. So he's had an awesome season. I like Zach LaVine is a player. He just doesn't fit in Sacramento. We've seen the Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan pairing in Chicago. It didn't work. They have Keegan Murray. They have a lot of guys who are similar prototypes on those wing guard prototypes, and it just doesn't work. So we've seen this story before. I don't like what the Kings did this deadline. I consider them one of the losers, honestly. I don't see them making the playoffs with how much deeper the West just got.
Well, again, there's a lot of haves and have-nots, and a lot of teams are just, out there circling and trying to figure out whatever they can do as far as identity is concerned. And Sacramento Kings are one of those rosters that continue to be, lost in the abyss, and firing Mike Brown the way that they did. And then, of course, trading Fox. I just didn't understand any of that nonsense. So it is funny how it all transpires. But a lot of these teams, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, look at what's OKC has going for them right now, right? Making the moves in the offseason. They got their roster ready to go. They're built. Boston, same thing. Boston, not making any moves. They're built. They're ready to go. Did Cleveland make any moves?
Yeah, Cleveland got DeAndre Hunter, which is an awesome move for them.
Yes,
shipped out Karis LeVert and Georges Niang and got DeAndre Hunter, he's having the best season of his career. He's averaging 19 a game, and he's shooting the ball almost 40% from three. He's had one of the best, probably the best season of his career. Jeez. He's a better shooter than Karis LeVert, so I like him to replace him in that role. And they kind of got rid of their depth, but upgraded in terms of a wing bench guy. He'll probably start sometimes. We'll see how that starting lineup shakes out. But DeAndre Hunter's having the best season of his career, and they got rid of depth to upgrade at a position that they didn't necessarily need, but they wanted to upgrade, which is that wing position. He's bigger than Karis LeVert, so I think he's a better defender too. He's been more decisive as a decision maker. DeAndre Hunter looks comfortable and confident. Philly native too, by the way, played high school ball.
I had no idea he got traded.
Yeah, it happened like right before we walked in the studio.
Good grief.
At like right before 3 p.m. Philly native, played ball at Friends Central High School. So he's having the best season of his career. So that's another great move for the Cavs. I mean, he's a legitimate wing scorer. He's averaging almost 20 a game. Like that's no joke. And he's a great spot up shooter. When you have guys like Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell who can create for others, he's a great spot up shooter. So he's an upgrade over Georges Niang, certainly from an athletic standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, but also over Karis LeVert because he's bigger and a better spot up shooter. So Cavs, who had already been one of the best teams in the NBA, had an awesome deadline.
I was going to say, all right, well, I take that back from their standpoint. Again, I think how many teams have the realistic point of view of winning it all this year in the NBA?
Should we go through the list?
I don't think it's that many.
Yeah, I don't really think it's that many either. I mean, look, when you pull up the team futures,
5.
Of course the Thunder do. Of course the Knicks do. I'm going to say, of course the Celtics do. I'm going to say the Knicks and Cavs also do. I see them as the only other two legitimate contenders in the East. The Nuggets, I think, I think the Thunder are going to be in the championship, no doubt. Nuggets could give them a run. They're playing really well. Beyond there, I would put the Lakers in the conversation. The problem is we've never seen a team acquire high-level talent mid-season and go on a run. It doesn't happen. It's unprecedented in NBA history. It's really hard to gain chemistry, put a new team together with big parts like that. We're not talking about fringe role players. We're talking about Luka Doncic and Mark Williams and integrating them into the lineup and into your system. You can't do that with 30 to 40 games to go and go on a championship run. I don't see that happening for the Lakers, even though I really like this team and this roster. I think they're going to be they are one of the better teams in the West. I can't see them going on a championship run because there's no precedent for it in NBA history. Even the Sixers fans know when they put that Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler team together, those two guys were acquired mid-season. And of course, Ben Simmons was young and Joel Embiid were young, and they were pretty close to making the Eastern Conference Finals, one little rim bounce away from potentially making the Eastern Conference Finals, and who knows what happens there. It doesn't happen when you put stars like that together mid-season. In recent NBA history, it's never happened. So I'm not going to consider Lakers serious contenders this year, even though I really think they're one of the best teams in the West. From there, I don't really see any other teams. Like you could say the Bucks and Clippers, fringe teams, Grizzlies, Rockets. I don't really see it. I think there's 6 teams maybe that could win it all.
Yeah, I'm going to narrow it down to 5.
So you're kicking out the Lakers, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll
go OKC, Boston, Cleveland, Knicks, and Nugs.
Yeah, I'm probably with you there.
You know, I would rather go Bucks over the Lakers, though.
I wouldn't, because the East is good, man. Like the Bucks are not getting through the Celtics, Cavs, or Knicks. And the Bucks also made a interesting move at the deadline. They got rid of Chris Middleton and brought in Kyle Kuzma. And people are killing this trade. And I don't really see it from the standpoint of the Bucks just made a massive mistake. Chris Middleton was a franchise cornerstone. He was awesome for this team for his entire tenure in Milwaukee. He helped them win a championship a few years ago. Chris Middleton is essentially crippled at this point. I mean, he cannot. He had a good playoff series last year when he was really. Giannis was dealing with injuries. Dame was dealing with injuries. It was one playoff series that Chris Middleton performed really well. Most of the season, he wasn't even playing, and he was injured all year. This season, he goes into this season injured. He barely can play. Like, there's no point of holding on to that guy. I know what he did for the franchise. There's no point of holding on to a guy that you can't rely on, you can't trust to play, and you need a third guy. Bringing Kyle Kuzma is really what irked people. Number one, the Bucks get under the luxury tax, which they wanted. Yeah, and look, people hate Kyle Kuzma, and I get it. The fashion is ridiculous. Like some of the takes he has, he's gone like hardcore conservative recently on Twitter. If you follow him on Twitter,
Kuzma's out of their mind. Yeah.
So people really don't like Kyle Kuzma.
A lot of people are out of their mind though, right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I will say,
matter of fact, if you have your mind right now, I think you're in the minority. Yeah,
probably. It's a good point. I will say with Kuz, he's having the worst season of his career. I mean, shooting from 3-point shooting to 2-point shooting to finishing around the rim. He just doesn't have any of it. He also looks really disinterested. I don't think I would really knock him for playing on a team, the Washington Wizards, which are trying to lose basketball games. It's kind of hard. He's not like a guy who's going to be a 1A or a 1 or even a 2. He's going to be a role player where guys are going to create for him. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he's had seasons where he shot around 37% from 3. He needs to be at that level, even higher, closer to 40% 3-point shooting for him to work with Giannis and Dame. But those guys are going to create shots for him. They can go lineups with Giannis at the 5 because Kuz's a bigger 4, and he's a solid defender when he's actually locked in, which you never know if Kuz will be. I think this Kuz thing could work in Milwaukee. Look, they're not a contender to me with the Celtics and the Cavs and the Knicks, but this Kuz thing could work because he's going to have a better season than he's been having. Because when you go to a team that's trying to win championships alongside Giannis, Dame, where you don't have to create for themselves, those guys will create for you. You're getting easier open looks. You're gonna play better naturally. That's kind of what happens. When he was in Washington, it was a disastrous situation for him. They're not trying to win basketball games. He had a bigger role than he should have, than any NBA team should grant him. And it was a losing situation, a losing environment. I think it's actually going to work with him in Milwaukee.
All right. I always thought of him somewhat as a good player, but of course, not going to fight.
He won a championship in LA. He was a big part of that championship team with AD and LeBron.
I'm not going to fight the fight for Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
There's players I would stick my neck out for, and
I actually used to be a huge Kyle Kuzma guy. I used to argue with my cousin about who was better between Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, and who had a higher ceiling. And this was back when they were teammates in LA. And I would argue on behalf of Kuzma, and I was dead wrong, like no doubt, wrong. But I still like see the potential there, and it's probably an idiot for thinking it. But I just watched it, like his length, his height. Like his shot looks good to me, even though he's never been some great shooter. I always saw the potential with Kuzma. It just never really materialized.
All right. We are coming down the home stretch in this hour. We got another 5 o'clock hour coming up. We got a lot to get to from the other items in the sports world, specifically what took place last night with the New York Mets. We'll even squeeze in a little MLB conversation 49 days away from opening day, and Pete Alonso back with the New York Mets. I can't say that I was all that surprised. Been listening to my show, I've been saying it seems like he's going to end up back there. Did get a nice little contract. We'll talk a little bit more about what the Mets roster looks like. I still think they're missing some key parts as far as pitching is concerned. So we'll mix that in, but all things Super Bowl 59 right here on The Gambler. Once again, coming up at 6 o'clock. Finish the story 59 with Luke Arcani. Don't go to more daily ticket after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Bumper to bumper on the Boulevard northbound, the Schuylkill Expressway to Broad Street. A crash takes out the left lane. It's adding about 20 minutes onto your drive. Schuylkill eastbound is heavy from the Conchie Curve to Gladwin. Then again, the Vine Expressway into University. Westbound slowing from South Street up to the Vine Expressway. Vine Expressway westbound, that's heavy the Ben Franklin Parkway into the Schuylkill. In Northeast Philly, Cottman Avenue northbound between the Boulevard and Bustleton Avenue. Right lane blocked from damage from Friday's plane crash. Careful in Jersey, 295 northbound at Mount Holly Willingboro. A crash there takes out the right lane. Brendan Joseph. Total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Looking for a place to witness history when Kansas City takes on Philadelphia? Dave & Buster's has you covered. Massive TVs, next-level food and drinks, and unlimited video games for just $20. Enjoy cold domestic draft beers for just $5 all day long, and fuel up for the game.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 9... Fuck you. Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
This is the Super Bowl 59. You need to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns, that's the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you could score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. The Eagles are underdogs at +1.5, and just the way we like it. The better team, and everyone is on Mahomes and the Chiefs. We'll see how this one plays out on Sunday. Hey, new customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. All you got to do is just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. And that's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call no gambler. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For live radio, to have lyrics, that's amazing.
You guys outdid yourselves.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Can I give it 6 stars?
Find your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
A clearing sky overnight, but the breeze will kick up 8 to 16 miles an hour. Lows will not drop below freezing overnight, so we're not looking at a refreeze of anything that's wet this evening. And those winds only increase on Friday, gusting 35 to 40 miles an hour. High temp of 43 will only feel like the 30s in the afternoon. But on the bright side, it's a sunny day. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green. All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
We'll try this again. There it is. Sorry. Gremlins in the system, Sam.
Always something.
You know, people want to make life easier with technology. Oh, I thought she said, I need some money. It's body to body.
Even better.
How many players from Super Bowl 52 are currently on this roster?
We're trying this again. We're trying it again. Take 2. It's like that whole thing didn't happen.
Hey, I wonder if they tweeted me back that damn Dogs Monday. What's going on here? Dog Monday?
I think you got to unfollow them.
I didn't follow them.
They just showed up on Reels or something.
We changed sports trivia. That's what their tagline is.
Yeah, because they lie about their sports.
Yeah, because you were get it wrong, dude. Anyways, fun stuff there. On the other side, 5 o'clock hour, Sam is going to give us the winners and losers from the NBA trade deadline. I look forward to hearing more about that. We got to talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball move that took place yesterday, as far as with Pete Alonso going back to the New York Mets. Are you a big baseball guy, Sam?
Big? No, definitely not. I'm
Phillies?
Yeah, big Phillies guy, big Phillies fan. I'm like a typical love the Phillies, diehard Phillies fan. Know what's going on with the Phillies. Don't pay attention to the rest of MLB.
Okay. And also, we didn't even talk really much about Chet. I want to get your thoughts as far as Chet returning, because that is just crazy to me that the Oklahoma City Thunder have had this much, success so far this season. And rightfully so. SGA's a front runner for the MVP. I haven't even looked at
Yeah, he's the odds-on favorite for sure.
For a big time. Yeah, minus 600 now.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the market in a little while now. Also, since these rosters are now complete with the trade deadline coming and going here, Sam is going to give us a sleeper or two to keep our eyes on as far as when it comes to maybe an upset, because we already got the list of names from teams' perspective who he thinks could actually win it all. But is there a team that could shake it up? Maybe the Rockets?
We can talk about it.
Maybe the Spurs.
Okay.
We'll get into that in the 5 o'clock hour. But of course, front and center, all things Super Bowl 59. We got some fun new wagers, fun new props up on DraftKings Sportsbook, and including the cross-sport wagers that are now available, including Tyrese Maxey threes, Dallas Goedert catches. There's some fun ones that involve the 76ers who will be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday at 2 p.m., I believe. So a nice little lead-in to Super Bowl 59. Leading into the 5 o'clock hour on the other side. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket after this.
It's Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Bumper to bumper on the Boulevard northbound, the Schuylkill Expressway to Broad Street. A crash takes out the left lane. It's adding about 20 minutes onto your drive. Schuylkill eastbound is heavy from the Conchie Curve to Gladwin. Then again, the Vine Expressway into University. Westbound slowing from South Street up to the Vine Expressway. Vine Expressway westbound, that's heavy the Ben Franklin Parkway into the Schuylkill. In Northeast Philly, Cottman Avenue northbound between the Boulevard and Bustleton Avenue. Right lane blocked from damage from Friday's plane crash. Careful in Jersey, 295 northbound at Mount Holly, Willingboro. A crash there takes out the right lane. Brendan Joseph. Total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas and iHeartMedia Philadelphia, want to send along congratulations to the NFC champions, your Philadelphia Eagles. BetMGM is a proud partner and your go-to app for all things Eagles. BetMGM says go Birds.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green. All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
Hot. Big 5 o'clock hour underway. It's the Daily Ticket. Sam Oshtry from The Score. What's the latest over there at The Score, Sam? What's your...
Everything's good. Everything's cooking. Busy week.
I saw you post about the Kansas City Chiefs from the betting perspective.
I posted about everything I've done. Let's go take a look. I've done props this week. Some deep dive props, some regular props, some betting trends, picks coming out, I think in an hour or so. My case for the Eagles, my partner's case for the Chiefs. Of course, I was going with the Birds. Darren Fox talk, Luka Doncic articles, doing some video stuff. I just had a video go out yesterday about Luka Doncic and the odds shift from the Lakers, having some prop stuff. So video, writing, all of it. Good stuff going on at The Score.
Nice work by Sam, and you can catch him on all things socials. It's his first initial and last name, so SOSHTRY on X machine there. Do not, whatever you do, follow Dog Mondays. They put out fake trivia, and then
we have an enemy.
And then sometimes a bad host just gets on and regurgitates things without thinking about it in great detail. Great job by you, though, by pointing out immediately, hey, man, there's no way 7 players were on that roster. That was a good job by you. Nice work there.
Thank you.
Joe Burrow making his rounds down there on Radio Row.
He is with Kay Adams.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's on a huge day. I've seen him do like 10 shows today.
That's what they do, man. It's crazy.
He's probably so pissed.
Fred Warner was on my radio and TV all day yesterday. It was absurd.
Yeah, what's like the purpose? Is he even pushing a product?
Yeah, he was pushing. He does a commercial for this app.
What app? Because I've watched a million of his interviews, seen him everywhere. I couldn't tell you the products he's pushing, so he's not doing a good job pushing it.
He was wearing the shirt.
Oh, was he?
And it's this app that like helps you with subscriptions. Here it is. Also on Instagram as well. Let's see here. Experian, EXPERIAN. It's a financial service.
Oh, interesting.
Credit and identity tips with a twist of financial literacy.
Okay.
Deep.
All right. Maybe I'll sign up.
Yeah.
Could use some financial
There
literacy.
you go. If we can get Fred Warner on the show, that would be great too.
Yeah. Why doesn't he pop on over?
And he was asked all the same questions. It was ridiculous. Yeah. We got Kyle Fisher checking, and he says, Mets talk. Hey, man, we do it all over here, bro. You know, from the odds perspective, when it comes to Major League Baseball, I said this to Colin, my good friend Colin Good, the other day, and I go, man, I'm fired up for baseball. I can't wait for the Phil season. He's like, what? Like the Eagles, what they're doing? You could think about something else. Like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Baseball's got my eye. I can't wait for this upcoming season. Unfortunately, the Dodgers are going to be the Dodgers, and they are the favorite to win it all at 3-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. But you know, when it comes down to, of course, in another 2 weeks, we're going to have nothing but college hoops, NBA playoffs, and baseball in front of us. And that's it. And, you know, I'm just starting to get a little bit more involved, starting to look at from the fantasy draft perspective as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. Also some futures with the NL East where the Braves are plus 110, Phillies plus 210. Value there again, people.
Nothing like going to the ballpark in the summer and the spring. It starts getting nice out. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. All right. If you are just joining us right here, right now, the title of this lovely show today is I will be finding out whether or not that I am going to win a 5-year wager or I'm going to lose a 5-year wager. 5+ years ago. It wasn't just 5 years ago because Eli was playing still.
Wow.
I said Eli Manning would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I understand his credentials. No need to argue that. If you don't think he is, that's fine. There are plenty of people that do that think he is. Trey Thomas was one who I was wondering what he would think when we did the show together. And I said, is Eli Manning a first ballot Hall of Famer? He's like, without a doubt. And he was adamant about it. And that was interesting because he competed against Eli Manning. And, you know, we know the history between the Giants and the Eagles. But I get it. If you're a naysayer and you say not a first ballot, there's too many other names that need to go in this year. I'm not here to argue. But the thing that I was so, that heavy on my swayed me, let's just put it that way, to be in on this wager year one was the last name and the way politics plays into anything Hall of Fame voting. So we'll find out tonight. The NFL awards go down tonight. A lot of people are going to be cashing those bets. We're going to find out Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year on both ways. Or
those are tonight?
Those are tonight.
I thought they were Saturday. Aren't they usually Saturday before the Super Bowl?
So the NFL honors tonight is just the Hall of Fame. The awards are Saturday. You are correct. I'm sorry about that. So yes, we will find out this weekend who's cashing what future, so on and so forth. But for me,
you're about to cash a huge future.
Selfishly, it's either going to be I'm going to be hurting at Capitol Grill and then like eating my steak and just be like, man, aren't you full? Or I'm going to be like, a barbarian in Game of Thrones, like, bring me another piece of meat. Buy him a piece, something stupid like that. So it is a 5-year wager. Myself and Mike Diaz from Green Legion. We made it in a joking way 5 years ago, like I said. And the loser has to pick up the tab at Capitol Grill. So it'll be 2 grown-ass men eating Capitol Grill dinner on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and I look forward to it. I was actually going to pitch them the idea of like, all right, if I won, why don't we bring the ladies? Why don't we bring the wives?
Oh, nice.
Get them out.
But then who's paying for that?
Well, then we split.
Split their version.
We split the bill.
That's
it's
nice.
like, but I don't think he'll want to do that. He's going to rub it in my face.
Your wife will appreciate that.
Yeah, she would. And so would his wife. His wife is lovely, and he just had baby number 2. They just had baby number 2. My wife is currently pregnant with baby number 2. So here we are. I figured that we could do that, but again, not cashing a ticket before the clock strikes 0 here, Sam. I'm a little nervous at this point.
Yeah, we got a few hours to go.
But you say?
I told you. I think he's getting in tonight. I think, like you said, the politics of it, the name, the fact that media members vote on it. And he's just such a high-class dude. Like everyone who's ever interacted with him has nothing but good things to say about him. Was great with the media, especially in a difficult media environment in New York. Those guys are all going to vote him in. And I think the credentials are there. I don't think like you could have I could get the opposite side saying he shouldn't be in. I think he's done enough. Plus the fact that everyone in the media loves him. He's getting in tonight.
Yeah. I was so positive all the way up until this week. And now that we're here, I'm kind of talking myself out of it. But we'll see how about that. As I said to you a little earlier, I'm more confident in the Eagles winning Super Bowl 59 than Eli Manning getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame first ballot tonight. We'll see about that, though. All right, let's get on over to the NBA. Of course, trade deadline. We'll come back to the Super Bowl, talk more things about some props, all that and more. No movement either way. We had Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook on a little earlier today, and he wasn't so sure which way the money was going to come in. It's pretty close at this point in time. He did say that, he could feel like the Kansas City Chiefs would start to get some more money in their direction, but it's really hard to pin down with so many people out there with a lot of money to just wager and get involved in this game, the biggest game of the year. Everybody's betting on this one. It's in the billions, I want to say, as far as how many people wager. It's over $34 million or $43 million. I'm a little dyslexic there. Sorry. $43 million total wagered on the game. It's just absurd how many people do venture in to get some action on the big game. So we'll get back over to that. But winners and losers, Sam Oshtry, from the NBA trade deadline. And there was a lot to choose from. If you wouldn't mind, let's start on the losing side. Let's be a little negative Nancy here. Where are we at as far as our losers are concerned?
All right, so I have a few losers, a few winners, and then one neutral that we can get to. One neutral, but we'll start with the losers. The biggest loser is pretty obvious. It's the Dallas Mavericks. And we've litigated this trade, this conversation in detail many times. But people are doing this thing that they do. Like people do this when something illogical and like just completely something that makes no sense happens. Everyone goes to absurd lengths to try to justify it. There's no justification for what happened. Like people are trying to make up conspiracy theories. I'm even trying to think about conspiracy theories.
I liked your conspiracy.
Like something must have gone into this because from a basketball standpoint, from a short-term, long-term standpoint, it makes no sense. So what else could go into it? And now people are talking into themselves that Luka is like some horrible guy, bad teammate, bad culture guy, annoying and difficult to be around. He was so out of shape. People are talking themselves into that because there must be something wrong with Luka if the Mavs would do this. Like, can we completely stop that? Like, there's no conspiracy theories. This is the Mavs PR pushing an agenda out there, and people are somehow falling for it. This is simply the Mavs doing something because they don't like Luka Doncic. It was a personal trade, and it was against Luka Doncic because Nico Harrison, his small team, so like I don't want to say the Mavs as a whole, but Nico Harrison, his small team, his inner circle of Mavs upper management were so disgusted with Luka and his team for whatever reason they wanted to ship him off. It was incompetence. Doing it was incompetence. The way they went out, the process of doing it, when they didn't even shop Luka around, went straight to the Lakers, to his buddy Rob Pelinka, because they were just dialed in on Anthony Davis. That is pure incompetence. Nothing about this trade makes sense. The Mavericks are now ruined. They're ruined in the short term. They're ruined in the long term. Kyrie Irving is your only primary creator. Kyrie Irving cannot carry a load offensively. He struggled all the time, frequently in the playoffs last year, and Luka picked him up. He had awesome moments. He also had a lot of bad moments that people gloss over, and Luka picked him up. Kyrie Irving cannot be your number one guy. You have a great frontline defense. You still have Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving on the perimeter as your point of attack defense. That's not great. Those two guys are constantly targeted defensively. So this is a good defensive team. I don't think it's a great defensive team. Offensively, they're really going to struggle because they don't have a lot of creators. And again, I said this the other day, when Anthony Davis was the top guy on the Los Angeles Lakers, and you could say he was last 3 or 4 seasons, he was better than LeBron James, no doubt. The Lakers haven't been above the 7th seed the last 4 seasons.
Wow.
You can't win with Anthony Davis as your best player. He's not Nikola Jokic. He's not Joel Embiid when he's healthy. He's just not a guy that you can create a hub around and build an offense around. He's inconsistent night in and night out. He's a phenomenal player, top 15, maybe even top 10 to 12 player in the NBA. He's not a guy you can win building around as your best player. The Mavericks are not the best team, the second best team. They're not top 5 team in the West as far as I'm concerned. The Mavs are the biggest loser of this deadline.
Mavs are the biggest loser of the NBA trade deadline. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue with you because you know where I stand on that one. Giving up Luka, it's just a generational talent. And I know we tend to toss that around from time to time, maybe to some players that should not be, earning that saying. But
he really is.
Luka is the real damn deal. So I agree with you on that one. Who else is a loser from
another loser is the Suns. And they made small moves on the margins, got rid of Yusuf Nurkic, which everyone knew coming because that organization was not fond of Yusuf Nurkic at all. The Suns are the biggest loser because they didn't do anything because they couldn't do anything because they still have Bradley Beal under contract. And the West got better. We're going to talk about some winners, but the Warriors got better. They're the 11th seed. The Spurs got better. They're the 12th seed. The Suns are the 10th seed right now. So those teams are catching up to the Suns as these teams make a playoff push to try to get out of the play. But the Suns didn't do anything to get better. And we've seen this Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker experiment. You can't just put 3 talented guys together. Bradley Beal is a diminished version of himself at this point and not surround them with complementary pieces. It doesn't work. The Big 3 era does not work in the NBA anymore. And now you're in such a difficult spot because of Bradley Beal's no trade clause. They wanted to get rid of Bradley Beal by this deadline, but he controlled everything because he would have had to waive his no trade clause to go somewhere, and he didn't want to go to a lot of destinations, so he wasn't going to do that to go just anywhere. So that's why they really struggled to get Jimmy Butler. Now the vibes around the team are horrible. You tried to trade Bradley Beal, you shopped Kevin Durant around. The vibes around this team are just disastrous. People are calling it toxic environment, whatever. You're not going to rebuild your team and your chemistry and your continuity with 30 to 40 games left in the regular season. The Suns, as far as I'm concerned, I want to look at their playoff odds when those are back out. They might be now. The Suns season is cooked as far as I'm concerned. And you know what that means? That means Kevin Durant is getting moved next summer because they have to end this disastrous experiment that was the Big 3 of Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker.
It's crazy, man. Why did it not work out in Phoenix?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like that
Bradley
first
Beal
year,
wasn't as good as advertised. We could start there.
Definitely.
Okay.
Without a doubt. And he's a diminished version of himself. He's not as healthy as he once was. He constantly is in and out of the lineup. Last year, there was kind of an excuse because Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal rarely played together.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, if these guys aren't going to play together, there's no continuity. Their fourth quarter offense was atrocious last year. For whatever reason, those guys were just really bad in the fourth quarter and in the clutch. Worst fourth quarter offense in the entire NBA which is really hard to do. They were a playoff team still, but fourth quarter offense worse than the entire NBA. This season, they've just never clicked. Like Devin Booker was really started off pretty cold. He's had some good stretches recently. Kevin Durant has dealt with a few injuries, but he's been pretty good. Like Kevin Durant's been the one consistent guy. They just don't have any complementary pieces. Like Yusuf Nurkic wasn't playing the role they wanted him to. They put Mason Plumlee in the starting lineup. He serves a role as a solid rim running big who's not a great defender, but plays hard defensively. And he's a solid center, but they don't have enough pieces. Tyus Jones, they tried to get him at point guard. There's no complementary pieces to two great wings in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. They needed to surround them with the right pieces, and they didn't.
All right. Yeah. And then was there a chance that Durant was going to get moved today?
Yeah.
Or yesterday?
It's interesting because the Warriors made a push. So there definitely was a chance. The Warriors made a push for Durant. Durant nixed that because he said, I don't want to go back to Golden State. I don't want to deal with Draymond Green again.
Wow.
We know he's not the fondest of Steve Kerr, even though Steve Kerr was his Olympic coach. I don't think he loves Steve Kerr.
Huh.
So he nixed that. He said, I don't want to deal with that environment again. I'm not going back to Golden State. So they were shopping him. They wanted him back. And then there weren't a lot of other options, like to put the deal together quickly where the Suns could get the highest value for KD. There weren't a lot of other options. I don't think it's the right time for the Suns, but it will be in the offseason because the Suns have to get off that contract. They have to rebuild this roster, get a bunch of picks back, start rebuilding around Devin Booker because you're wasting Devin Booker's prime here. So I'd be shocked if Kevin Durant's not moved in the offseason.
Interesting. It's crazy how Durant's career is going to be looked back at.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right?
Just where he was and leaving OKC, going to Golden State, getting the success there, having a success there, getting ridiculed for doing so. But if he did not, what would he have in the long run? He would have a great career. He'd have an unbelievable Hall of Fame career. There's no denying that. But the MVP or the Finals MVP back-to-back seasons, of course, the two championships, like that would never happen. And then we're looking at him in a different manner, I would assume.
But when you talk about legacy, his is so interesting because everything that's going to be attached to his name is, he won 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs actually, but he had to go to Golden State, who just came off the best regular season in NBA history and had to join forces with Steph Curry. So that's always going to be the asterisk attached to Kevin Durant, whether that's right or wrong. That's kind of what his legacy is because it doesn't feel like he's going to win another one on his own. I've loved KD. I've always wanted him to win one on his own to kind of prove everyone wrong. I love how he interacts with fans on Twitter. He just loves hoop. Like, you got to respect the guy who loves hoop. He's so fun to watch. One of the purest basketball players of my lifetime. He just doesn't. He's so good, but he just doesn't. He never impacted winning and made his teammates better to the extent that like LeBron James would. And that's why he was never on his level. And when LeBron was dominating the 2010s, KD couldn't do that on his own. And so it's sad. But that's kind of the KD experience. And now he probably only has like 3 or 4 more years left.
Yeah. Do you, you thinking back, man, it was a long time ago, 2014 when he won the MVP. Oh, by the way, the NFL awards are tonight, too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So we are going to find out about the MVP in the NFL tonight.
So locked in with deadline. I didn't know.
It's all good. It's all good. There's so much going on down there. I would not be surprised if they did bring it up. But then again, Saturday would have been close. Who knows? Anyways, that's why Joe Burrow's down there because he's actually in the running. You got Joker last year, Embiid, Joker, Giannis, Harden, Russ, Steph, and then Durant back in 2014. It's crazy to go back and look at those MVP days. And, there was a good discussion the other day, believe it or not, on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, which I try not to.
Intellectual basketball discussion on that podcast?
Which I try not to ever stop by. Gilbert is just a maniac.
I mean, he's hilarious, but
he is out of his mind. Rashad McCann's out of his mind. Kenyon Martin is on that. The old man and his son got traded in the middle of a taping, and I think that's how I got hooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was like a nice little scanning, doom scrolling, and the next thing you know, I saw that. And then they were talking about the MVP. And the big thing was for your legacy, what does more? Is it MVP, regular season MVP, or championships? And I thought they were talking specifically from a player's perspective, as they are. Great players in their own right? Well, Swaggy P, whatever, we can put him to the side. Rashad at least had a great college career. Kenyon Martin was awesome. Of course, Gilbert Arenas was a great ball player. But, they were talking about how, and it was interesting because I understand where they're coming from, and I would never dare say they were wrong. But they were saying, like, look, if you're the MVP, you are the best player out of 440 whatever players are in the NBA, and you are a top dog for that year. Versus if you get a ring, like, hey, man, you were on a great team. You were one of, there was one guy on your team that basically carried you to the spot. Who knows who you were? But when you talk about legacies, what does more? The question was, what does more for you in the long run as far as for your legacy, MVP or a championships? I would argue a championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would say it was interesting because Cam Newton also said the same thing.
Correct.
He was like, I'd rather have an MVP. And he kind of made a decent point.
Yes, he
did.
And
people killed him. But he made a decent point. And he was like, dude, Trent Dilfer has an MVP or has a Super Bowl. Like Nick Foles has a Super Bowl. Like I'm going to be remembered way more than those guys. And I don't have a Super Bowl, but I do have an MVP. But I would say back to Cam Newton is you'd be remembered more regardless with the championship too. Like even if you didn't win an MVP, you were a transcendent football player that people from college to the NFL. So that's why people remember you. Like even if you don't have an MVP and you do have a championship, it's because of what you accomplished on the field, not because of accolades. Like that doesn't matter for a guy like Cam Newton. People don't even care about his MVP or that he lost in that Super Bowl. It's that he was a transcendent football player from Auburn to the Panthers and his entire college and professional career. So in the NBA, it's interesting because you look at a guy like Steph Curry. I think Finals MVP is the biggest indicator of legacy to me because that's did you win championships and you won championships and you were the best player in that championship run. Steph Curry. That was a knock on his legacy for years. That it was he couldn't win a championship because he did win a championship. Yeah. It was Andre Iguodala, and then it was Kevin Durant who won 2, and it was just like
I never bought into that though.
I did to an extent just because he kind of did struggle in that first championship run, and then when KD comes and joins forces, it's like all right, this is ridiculous. This is too talented of a team. But he did struggle with some physical playoff basketball more than he would in the regular season when he was winning regular season MVPs. But then for his legacy, he wins a championship on his own in 2022, and he's the Finals MVP. And I think that matters so much more than individual MVPs. I'm a guy that always will value championships more because, sure, anyone can win a championship. You're on a good team. But if you are the guy on that team, that's more important than being a good guy on a good regular season team. Like if you are the LeBron James or Steph Curry of that 2022 team, or the Giannis, or the Nikola Jokic. If you were that best player on a championship team, that is so much better and more important for your legacy than being the best player on a regular season team. So I'm team championships over MVPs. And you look at a guy like Kobe, he has 5 championships, 1 MVP. Like Steve Nash won 2 MVPs while Kobe was the best player in the league. Undisputable best player in the league. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs over him. The voting doesn't make sense. It's out of your control with the media voting. Voter fatigue is obviously a factor. All these things play into it. Championship is, did you win or did you lose? And if you're the best player, you really do control that.
Well said, Sam Oshtry. He's all over it. Give him a follow on socials. Of course, check out all his content at The Score. All right. We hit on some winners and losers. Any final thoughts there before we move off of that?
Yeah, I just want to give my one winner.
Yeah.
My biggest winner.
Okay.
And that's the San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs, they went out on the trade deadline. De'Aaron Fox was a huge get in your mind.
Huge get. Because this is the best player Victor Wembanyama has ever played with in his entire career. Like Wemby has never had a downhill driver.
How long has he been in the league for?
This is only his second year.
Okay.
But still, international basketball, all of it.
Did he just get you?
This is
well, I understand. Well played.
It's still the best player he's played with. Yeah. And it'll take his game to a whole nother level. You saw it last night. The first game they played together, the last 2 possessions. Let me walk you through. The Spurs are down 2 to the Hawks. They run a 4 down set. And De'Aaron Fox has the ball at the top of the key, and it's coming up on the screen right now. He drives left, and you're forced as a defense to help off because De'Aaron Fox is one of the most explosive, quickest guards in the league. He can beat anyone off the dribble. So you're forced to help. And what that does is you either, as a defense, when you're helping on Wemby, you either have to stay on Wemby and you're going to let De'Aaron Fox get an easy blow by to the rim, or you're going to help on Wemby. And what happens is you can throw it up to a lob for Wemby, or if you miss off the glass, Wemby's going to clear it up. And that's exactly what happened on that second to last possession for the Spurs last night. Is they had this 4-down set. De'Aaron Fox drives to the rim to the left side. Victor Wembanyama's in that dunker spot. He comes over to help, and De'Aaron Fox misses it off the glass with his left-hand layup. Wemby just comes in, sweeps it, dunks it in, tie game. Next possession, the Spurs get a stop. Next offensive possession, it's just Wemby is going to set a ball screen for De'Aaron Fox, slips it. De'Aaron Fox hits him in the short roll. The Hawks fumble the pick and roll coverage. Wemby's in the short roll, just soars to the rim, gets fouled, Spurs win. You saw the impact of those two playing together immediately. But why they're also winners, because they got De'Aaron Fox, but didn't give up any of the young guys. They still got Devin Vassell. They still got Keldon Johnson.
Correct.
They still got Jeremy Socon. They still got Stephon Castle, who's been an incredible rookie, probably the best rookie this season.
Who they wanted. And I was like, no, you can't give him up.
Exactly. And so they kept all of the young guys while acquiring De'Aaron Fox. And that was just a disastrous trade for the Bulls. They're a loser. They didn't get any assets for Zach LaVine. It was part of a 3-team trade with the Kings, Spurs, and Bulls. So I was really excited about the Spurs and their future. I expect them to make the playoffs this season, but now we're talking about they could be in championship contention years down the line because Wemby has always needed a teammate like this. He's the perfect fit for Wembanyama.
All right. Well, again, we talked a little bit about whether or not the Spurs should be contenders or a team to look out for an upset potentially in the first or second round of the NBA playoffs. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the other side. We will fire up DraftKings Sportsbook and take a peek at some of the numbers for Major League Baseball. Yes, futures and the moves on whether or not we had some odds shifting with Pete Alonso re-signing with the New York Mets. Again, the NFC East or the NL East. We talked a little about that. But we'll close up shop with all things Super Bowl 59, DraftKings Sportsbook again, where we're getting all of our odds from. We got some new props being added. We got some movement as well. We'll continue to hit on all of that. And once again, Luke Arcani coming up at 6 o'clock with Finish the Story. More after this.
Cheat. Super cheat. Tell him, Superbirds, Coach Nick.
Barbera the best.
Boy, I guess. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic still bumper to bumper on Boulevard northbound, the Schuylkill Expressway to Broad Street. Left lane's blocked by a crash. That's adding about 30 minutes onto your drive. Southbound Boulevard, no problems there. On the Schuylkill eastbound, it's heavy from Montgomery to University. Westbound slowing from University up to the Vine. And we're jammed on the Vine Expressway eastbound to Schuylkill all the way to 95. In West Windsor, Village Road westbound is closed between Penn Lyle Road and Post Road. That is because of a crash. Getting better in Collingswood, 130 southbound approaching the White Horse Pike. A crash there has been cleared. Brendan Joseph, Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media, even twice as many teens than TikTok. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
I'm Greg Rosenthal, host of NFL Daily. Join me live from Radio Row in New Orleans. I'll be interviewing the NFL's biggest names all week long. NFL Daily will have you ready for this year's big moment. Will it be Mahomes completing the three-peat or Jalen Hurts avenging their Super Bowl 57 loss? We'll be there on the field after the game. Full recap, interviews with this year's Super Bowl champions. Don't miss it.
Listen to NFL Daily on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow NFL Daily and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green. All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
Little Evan Turner action for you there. Great Philadelphia 76er. I once had a conversation with E.T. on Main Street Mania many years ago.
When he was playing for the squad?
Playing for the squad. And it was like a summer afternoon. I was waiting like across the street for something. I was just sitting by myself, maybe on the phone or whatever. And then next, Evan Turner, I think his girl was getting her nails done and like he was killing time. So I'm like, yo, E.T., what up, man? And he literally sat next to me and we talked ball for like 10 minutes. Not to, because I was like, all right, I'm out. But I didn't want to fanboy Evan Turner. Even though, what pick was he? 3?
I think, no, he was later than that. Or maybe, let me see.
Evan Turner draft?
I think it was like 7 for some reason, I think. Maybe it's 2. Oh, it's 2.
Thank you. I was going to say, he was a high-ass draft pick, man. He balled out of
I forgot.
Ohio State. Ohio State. But he kept it. He's like, man, everything that I had for him, like I was just asking, like I was like, hey man, you mind like Brett Brown? We were talking about Brett Brown, I think, and I forget, man, it was a long time ago. But like his answer, I just remember like it was yesterday with that in that regards, because he was like, man, it's basketball. At the end of the day, roll the ball out there, and the best players are gonna win. Like he kept it very simple. He made basketball seem the least complex sport possible. Now, look, I think that there are plenty of coaches that can be pretty complex on their decision makings, and there's a lot of strategy and a lot of late game decisions that will cost you wins or losses. But at the end, it does seem like, man, if you got the best players, the opportunity for you to rise and win a championship, that's what it comes down to.
It's interesting. I was actually talking basketball with someone the other day, and he just put it really simply to me. It was like, basketball is a solved game. It's just about execution, which is really true, because, and of course you have to have good players to execute, but it's really true. Like everyone runs the same actions. They have the same coverages. Like everyone's figured out how to guard different coverages, how to create opening, create space, put two on the ball, all these different things. Everyone's figured it out. It's really just about who executes all these things better. And you have to have great players to execute, or else you simply can't execute. But that's really what it comes down to. It's a solved game.
Really is. All right. We'll see if we can solve some of those problems for some victories here and cash in as far as Super Bowl 59 is concerned. Real quick, though, I do want to hit this again. Pete Alonso, the big news, Major League Baseball, finally found his home, the polar bear, going back to New York. I didn't think that was too much of a surprise. And when it comes to the New York Mets currently, they are 7-1 behind the Phillies at plus 650 and the Braves at plus 425 to win the National League. Dodgers plus 170. Are you a fan of what the Dodgers are doing?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think Rob Manfred at a press conference said, I didn't see the exact quotes. We've been on air, but it's ridiculous. I mean, there should be some type of salary cap. I know the Phillies benefit from this too, and other big markets
you
as well.
say salary cap,
but there should be something where the Dodgers can't just accumulate every single player because they're willing to pay the most. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I mean, it's baseball, so there's no guarantees, but this is like a crazy, ridiculous super team they put together, and it's like, how are they not just going to walk to the World Series? It's I don't like it one bit.
Yeah. Well, they ended up getting the job done last year. There were times where maybe people were starting to think that, look, they're not going to win it all, but playoffs is a different monster. And then, of course, you roll out and the pitching that they have for this upcoming year. So it's going to be difficult. Dodgers 3-1. If you plan on wagering on the
insane number to win the World Series, 3-1.
It's the toughest sport to win.
Yeah.
To win it all. If you plan on wagering at all on the LA Dodgers, do it now. Because that number is only going to go one way. And that's it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right. Back over to Super Bowl 59 conversation. And again, DraftKings is where we're at. Let's do the cross sport. I've been teasing you with these because I know that you are a basketball aficionado. And the cross sport specials tab on DraftKings Sportsbook, they continue to add. We now got some golf up there. With the waste management going on out there in the greater Phoenix area, soccer and the NFL, NHL and the NFL, but we'll look at the NBA and see if we got any new ones up here at this point in time. But the Sixers and the Milwaukee Bucks will be going head to head here on Sunday. So with the Milwaukee Bucks, you get Giannis and Giannis's assist, Sam Oshtry. So the question that I have for you is, who will have more? Travis Kelce receptions on Super Bowl Sunday or Giannis's assists?
Interesting.
Kelce receptions plus 110, Giannis plus 110, a tie 6-1.
Interesting, because Giannis averages about 6 assists a game.
Ooh.
I don't see Kelce getting more than 6 catches. I just don't. Like, I think part of what it gives an Eagles advantage is that Kelce from 2 years ago is Kelce's lost a step. Like, we know he can have big playoff performances, but if he does, it's going to be a lot because he breaks free and he's slower than he used to be, but he can still just sit in the zone and then turn and go and break free for big yardage. I don't see him getting more than 6 catches, and Giannis averages 6, but he could have a 12 assist game at any moment. So I think I'm going to go Giannis.
Interesting. All right, well, that's plus 110, not the biggest payday there. Here's one that I love. Combined Tyrese Maxey points and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Total points.
Okay.
All right. How many points will Maxey have on Sunday if I had to ask you a number?
Like 32.
Okay. How many points are the Eagles scoring?
I got them at 34. That's my score prediction, but their over-under is 23.5.
You get plus 320.
Wow.
It's a good wager. You need to place a wager on that.
I think I will. I mean, look, so what's the line on that?
All right. 49.5 is minus 135.
Okay.
54.5 is plus 130. 59.5. If you get to 60 between Maxey and the Eagles, which I think you will, you get 2-1. And then 64.5 is a huge jump up to plus 320.
Wow. That's interesting. I mean, look, Maxey's averaging like over 30 over the last like month and a half. So you get 30 at least from him. And I think the Eagles unquestionably clear their team total of 23.5.
Yeah.
It's like how far are they going to go about
I'll tell
that?
you right now, if they don't, I don't think I'm showing up for work on Monday.
Well, yeah, the Eagles aren't winning. There's no chance.
Like, I'll show up to work if they don't win. Like, I'll take that on the chin, no doubt. But if they're held under 23 points on Sunday,
Jalen would have had a horrible game, never established the run, and just Jalen was a nightmare. And boy, this city will explode.
Correct.
If Jalen doesn't perform well. So I don't think there's a question they go over that. We're in agreement there. How far do they go? Like, I could see them scoring 27, 28. Like I said, I have them at 34. Obviously, that's really high for them, higher than most people. But 27, 28 is reasonable, and you hit that if you get 30 from Maxey. So I like that a lot, actually. I'm probably gonna someplace that. Hopefully, it's still up on Sunday morning. That'll be one of my late ones I'll do.
Let me follow up on what you just said.
Okay.
And I get it. There's a lot of gas bags that are in big time spots here in this city when it comes to media, especially that radio station, which is hysterical. Shout out to Mark Henry Jr. for laying that out the other day with me on the Eagles at Night, because there's definitely been one leader in the clubhouse all season long that have been just cramming the Jalen Hurts, we could say, hate. And then now all of a sudden they're just gallivanting and bloviating with the success of this team. And this is great. And it's like, wait a minute, man. Like, just 5 weeks ago, you guys were the kings of that's never going to happen. This guy's not good enough, blah, 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 blah. And then now he's in a Super Bowl. And it's like, none of that ever happened. But I digress. If Jalen Hurts does have a bad game, if the Eagles don't win this Super Bowl, and it's not exactly the closest game, like, we're not happy with getting here. This wasn't a good season. We have to blow up. It's got to be an eruption. We got to call for heads. We need a new quarterback. We need an offensive coordinator. We need a new head coach. Like, heads got to roll if they do lose this game on Sunday.
I mean, look, perspective changes throughout the year. Expectations change. But if you bring it back to before the season and you say we were in the Super Bowl, everyone would say that's a very successful season coming off that collapse. But then once you go through the year and you start to realize, like, wow, like, this is the best roster in the NFL, hands down. And the expectations started to become, it's Super Bowl or bust. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know if I wouldn't be like, let's blow it up. Let's get rid of Jill. Like, that's ridiculous. All right. This roster, we're going to be competing for years to come. But that being said, it's Super Bowl or bust still. Like, they have to win the Super Bowl for this to seriously be a successful season, because expectations change as you realize how well they've drafted and how good this roster is. Like, they're going to be they're set up for a year. So it's not just this season, it's the long term as well. But expectations change once you start winning and everyone gets a glimpse of this roster. But I will say, I'm completely like, I don't even want to think about the possibility of them losing. Losing to the Chiefs twice in 3 years would be absolutely devastating. Just like we've seen it with the Eagles 2 years ago. We saw it with the Niners this year. Like, it takes a lot out of you. A Super Bowl run takes a lot out of you. A Super Bowl loss takes a lot out of you. A Super Bowl loss on the final plays of the game to Patrick Mahomes really is hard to recover from the next season. It just is. It would be devastating to be this close again and not win it. So I don't even want to think about the possibility. But no, you shouldn't blow it up. But I also don't want to look at it. I won't wake up the next day like, oh, nice season, Eagles. Like, this was a really good season. I'm happy with a Super Bowl appearance. No, you got to win the game.
Yeah, I'm not here to argue. And it's just one man's take, as always. I realize what those people who are content machines and they need to but it is the Chiefs. It is the best team in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
But this team right here, right now,
look, I don't want.
There's so much talent on this Eagles team.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, I'm getting miserable thinking about the possibility of a loss. I don't want to be a footnote on the Chiefs dynasty.
Anything could happen, bro.
One
game.
I know. I don't want to be a footnote on the Chiefs dynasty. I don't want to be a Charles Barkley to Michael Jordan's Bulls dynasty. Like, man, they would have been one of ton if Patrick Mahomes wasn't there, if the Chiefs weren't there. We can't have that. We can't. This team is too talented for that to happen. We can't be a footnote on the Chiefs dynasty, and we won't be, because we're going to win the football game on Sunday.
That's what I'm talking about. I was about to give you I'm about to risk a DMCA violation for you, all right? I'm going to hit you with a little Rocky. Bottom line is, that's probably what got me in trouble, too. Watch. I'm going to lose my account. But you know what? Damn it, it's worth it. Sam provided us with some juice here at the 5 o'clock hour, getting us ready. The Eagles are losing. They're not losing.
Not happening.
The motivation is all over the screens for 2 weeks.
Everyone is on the Chiefs. Everybody.
That's it. I'm going to risk a DMCA violation. I might as well
shut it down now.
I should promote something. We're going to be live at Yards. We're going to be live at Yards tomorrow. Yes, 3 to 6 p.m. It's a big game edition. Live. Daily ticket coming your way. Football Friday. Sam will be involved to be back at the studio, but we'll get him on the mic and on the stream. John Jansen live with me out there. Luke Arcane will be joining me as well. Gambler Gang and some special guests joining us throughout the show. 3 to 6 p.m. Come on out. Yards, great beverages. I can't wait to taste some of those brewahas made in Philly. Damn it. Best brewing company around. And right there, beautiful spot on Spring Gardens. So come on out, 3 to 6 p.m. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. We're going to wrap up shop on the other side. Once again, finish the story coming your way at 6 p.m. Luke Arcani rolling dolo. Roy Burton will join him a little bit later in the program. More after this.
The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard want to put $1,000 in your hand. Keep it locked right here to The Gambler for your chance to win $1,000, all courtesy by our friends over at Gary Barbera on the Boulevard. Each weekday, that's 9 times a day, you'll hear a keyword at the top of the hour, and you could win $1,000. So, is the Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Gary Barbera's super goal to stay in control of the most cheap sold for $16,666. Right, Brendan Graham?
Boy, I guess.
Boom, shakalaka.
Cheap. Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. Go first.
I know, yeah.
Here we go. Sean Brace for DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, this ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny bowl. This is the Super Bowl 59, and it's time for you to get on in the action on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Now, scoring touchdowns is the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you could score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? We'll try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. All you got to do is just go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and make your pick. New DraftKings customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do is just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5, and it's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next 2 combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
We rely on our cars a lot, but maintenance or breakdowns shouldn't slow us down. Say hello to Cruisin', your complete car care solution. Download the Cruisin' app to quickly order roadside assistance for flats, jump starts, lockouts, and more. You can even request mobile oil changes and car detailing, all from a peer-to-peer network of trusted help. Download the Cruisin' app and discover car care redefined. Go to CRUZENapp.com. Cruisin', complete auto care at your fingertips.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
A clearing sky overnight, but the breeze will kick up 8 to 16 miles an hour. Lows will not drop below freezing overnight, so we're not looking at a refreeze of anything that's wet this evening. And those winds only increase on Friday, gusting 35 to 40 miles an hour. High temp of 43 will only feel like the 30s in the afternoon. But on the bright side, it's a sunny day. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green. All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
Oh, I love it. I love when the group's involved. Luke texted. Luke Arcani, who's coming up here at 6 o'clock. Finish the story. Luke Arcani rolling solo. Roy Burton will join him, I believe, at 6:30. So don't touch that dial. Keep it locked right here to The Gambler. He texted the group, Sam, and he goes, "Hey, man, Rocky music is playing, just so you know." The big storyline this week is we had to change up our tunes over here with us live on streams because of I got banged by the DMCA violations.
Elon got you.
Elon got me, yeah. And I can't lose my X account, even though it'd probably be a blessing in disguise. Focusing on YouTube, man. YouTube is where I'm at right now. I'm putting a lot of effort into that, cutting us all up. Shout out to cousin Nikki, who's helping out. He was able to get in there today and make some changes. The page is already humming a little bit better. We're getting great views, great content's going up daily. So please give us a follow at Fox Sports, The Gambler. But yeah, no more. I just got to find out what we can and can't play. Like, can I play the Sixers song when they win? Like the Eastern Conference Finals? Can I hit that?
Well, you won't have to worry about that. Trust me. Won't have to worry about that. But I don't see why not. But I'm not up to date on those regulations.
Yeah, who knows? And they're probably changed by May anyways. All right, let's go ahead and close up shop with this. Some winners. I need some winners for tonight. I want winners. Sam Oshtry. And you say, let's go to the NBA. Let's check out what's happening in the hardwood with the professionals. Where are we at tonight?
Yeah, so I actually had a future play for you.
Ooh.
So I can give you a play for tonight. But
well, the rosters are set, so I like where you're at with the futures play. Okay, with 6 games, though, on the hardwood tonight, and we still got to figure out who's playing, who's not playing with all these trades. So it's a tough time of year to start selling me on the Mavericks and Celtics at 12-point spread or the Warriors and the Lakers at 6.5. No Luka tonight, obviously. So where are we at with the futures?
So real quick, I'll just give you Blazers +1. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA, won 8 of the last 10. A team that's trying to lose, but they're at home against the Kings. And I don't love this Kings team, as we talked about earlier. So Blazers +1 for tonight. Nice. But a future, the Warriors to make the playoffs at +160. I think the fact that you can get it plus money right now means that you should take it. And the Warriors, they're the 11th seed right now, sitting right at 500, 25-25. They're tied with the Suns, who are just at the 10th seed right now. But then they're only 3 games back from the 6th seed. So that Western Conference is really jumbled. It's really going to come down to these final few months. But here's why I'm high on the Jimmy Butler deal. I wouldn't say high. I wouldn't call them a winner or loser. It's more neutral. But like getting in the Jimmy Butler business is never easy. It's like a guy who's like been divorced 4 times and they've all ended poorly. And then like your friend's like, oh, what's your female friend would be like, oh, what's that guy's deal? It's like, oh, he's been divorced 4 times. Everyone should be like, red flag, stay away. But then there's always one person out there who's so desperate. You're so desperate to find someone that you make a move. It's like, all right, I'll go out with this person who's been divorced 4 times. The Warriors are a desperate organization.
Literally just spitting all over the place.
They're a desperate organization who just made a desperate move to attach themselves and partner with someone who's now been divorced 4 times, and they've all ended poorly. But from a basketball point of view, not a Jimmy Butler character point of view, I actually think it's a good fit. Like, I really like the basketball fit. A lot of times people are like, oh, can this guy play off ball? They only think about, all right, is he a good spot-up shooter? Jimmy Butler, who can make threes, not a high-volume three-point shooter by any stretch, but can make threes, you can't think of it as, oh, is he a good catch-and-shoot three-point shooter? Jimmy Butler does a lot of things off the ball that don't involve shooting. He's a great cutter, brilliant cutter, great screener. The Warriors, what they do is they run a lot of split actions where they pass the ball into the elbow or the mid post, and some guy will go set a screen, and they have to read and react based on that. They slip it, they pop out to the 3-point line. You read and react based off that. Jimmy Butler is a really bright basketball player, high basketball IQ. He's going to fit in that system great, slipping screens, cutting, all that stuff. So I think working with Steph is going to be great. And then you can also give Steph relief. When Steph plays off the ball, which he excels at, Jimmy Butler is a secondary creator to pair with Steph Curry. So I really love this move for the right now. I think they're going to be contending now in terms of the playoff picture. I don't think they're a contender in the West, but at +160 to get them to make the playoffs, I think that's a good bet. Now, granted, in the future, it's probably the Jimmy Butler thing is not going to work out. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry are going to be two of the 5 highest paid players in the entire NBA next year. Those two guys are both on the wrong side of 35. So I don't trust it from that perspective in the future. But this right now, talking about the next few months, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make a late push. And you didn't give up a lot. You only gave up Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Dennis Schroeder. So I like the move for the Warriors. And I think the Warriors are going to make the playoffs. Plus 160, take it.
They're going to be interesting. It's Steph Curry. Obviously, I'll be watching, but I am secretly hoping that it blows up too as well.
Really? Just because you're not a Jimmy fan?
Jimmy and Draymond?
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting.
Just that combination as we lost you on the video there. Sorry about that, Sam. I don't know what happened there. The computer unplugged your camera.
I'm waiting for the Jimmy Draymond blow up and just like the Shams tweet of like those two guys got into it in practice. I think that's what might put Steve Kerr into retirement. Like when those two guys blow up and Steve Kerr has to deal with that. But two really strong personalities, two absolute alphas. You hopefully they can coexist because now they just signed them to this massive extension for 2 more years. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm hoping for the most is that bottom line is they run into a little bit of friction.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, things are blowing up out there in the Bay Area. But if you're going to make that play like you just suggested there, then we'll see what happens. But good luck on that one. All right, one last final one. Kyle Fisher checking in just on a thought that we had talking about whether or not, hey, look, is there any chance we can look back at the season positive? If they do lose this game on Sunday, and I'm kind of saying it like knowing the answer here. He said there is a way to be upset that they lost and still consider the season a success. The drama from last year and the start of this season seems to be behind them, and they still made it to the end. So,
well, let me ask you this real quick. You and Kyle Fisher, do you look at 2022 as a success?
Man, that was one of the most fun seasons I've ever had.
It was awesome. But then when you look at the aftermath of what happened in 2023, I don't think people view that season as positive.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to do so. But in that moment, losing that Super Bowl, it took away the joy from the season that was.
It's just,
and I really do believe like that was the most fun I've ever had. There's been Philly seasons that are up there, but man, that season for the Eagles in 2022 is awesome.
And that's what Mahomes does. He doesn't just beat you; he rips your heart out, which we can't let happen on Sunday, and we won't.
Perfect way to end the show. Finish the story coming up next. Luke Arcady, Sam, bang up job. Nice work there. Julian Edlow, thank you very much from DraftKings Sportsbook. Everyone getting involved from the Gambler Gang. Shout out. Appreciate it across the board. Finish the story coming up next. Tomorrow we will be live from Yards at 3 p.m. We'll be finishing the week at Yards, baby. Daily ticket, 3 to 6 p.m. Come on out. Giveaways, prizes, great beers made by Philly at Yards. We'll see you tomorrow. Finish the story is next. Peace.
Looking to elevate your golf game? Welcome to Penn Club on 2nd in the heart of Conshohocken. With over